let me say this to you, and then I'll take some call. But I got to tell you. And the reason I'm telling you this, because I was talking to some people yesterday after the fellowship. It was an amazing discussion. I want you to know, though we have the great white hope running the country right now and running the world, what manner of man is this? Donald Trump. And he's going to do, it appears that he's going to do the best he can to make things comfortable for you again, in spite of the people who are fighting against him. Thank you, Hake, for giving me the information on that Curtis Mayfield song. Amazing. Donald Trump going to make it a little better, I believe. Lower taxes. And I hear that the housing prices are going down. And did you hear? Oh, the wall going up. Did you hear about this? I just heard this morning. That there's going to be some more construction of the wall. Nick, can I hear the wall going up with those guys? You know, oh, the wall going with me in it. I want to hear the wall going up. Watch this. Yeah, Mr. President, take this home. The wall going up. The wall going up. It's long overdue. The wall going up. 30-foot wall. The wall going up. The wall going up. At the border, I'm stunned. Oh, the wall going up. Did you hear that? But anyway, so he's going to make it better in a physical sense. But the one thing you can bank on, you can bank on this. And it's up to you how you deal with it. But you can bank on this. Even though the president may end the wars, he may, and when it's seen, bring back jobs. Lower the taxes. Send the illegals back to wherever they came from. What the? Build the wall. Oh, the wall going up. Whatever. I want you to know things are only going to get worse. They're not going to get better. Things on this earth is not going to get better. My country is done with. It's over. It's over. It's not going to get better. The violence, the hatred that human beings hold for one another and themselves, the jealousy, the strife, the revenge, the fear, the loneliness, the fighting, the desperation, the suicidal thoughts, raping, murdering, robbing, stealing, and killing, government leading you down the wrong path, everything. Your psychologist, your counselor, your whatever. It's not going to get better. And the reason for that, you could change all the physical things that you want in this world. You can have all the money. You can have the silver and gold, even from Gold Coast. You can have all the biggest house on the hill or the smallest house in the valley. You could be rich or poor, no matter what race, color, male or female. It's only going to get worse. And you can have all those things, and you're still going to cry at night. You're still going to be afraid. You're still going to be lonely. You're still going to be lost. You're still going to be a pretender. You're still going to judge. You're going to be afraid. You will have no love. And no one will love you. It will be all fake. It's not going to change. It's only going to get worse. This is hell on earth coming through human beings. And my country is not coming back. It's gone. I'm not happy to know that, but I'm glad to know it. I'd rather know my country is gone than to think my country coming back or that it still exists. Meaning that in the good old days, the way it was beforehand, it's gone. So just know that. Now, you don't have to believe that. Live in your illusion and see what happens. You're still going to cry at night. Even if you're not crying tears outwardly, you're crying on the inside. You're desperate on the inside. You're lost on the inside. You are divided on the inside. And your world is still hell. With the cut back on the taxes, more money in your pocket, the wall going up, the illegal sit back home, you still cry at night. You may be even married with children, and you still cry at night. You still have fear. You still have doubt. You still have worries. You're still jealous and envious, and you gossip. And you cannot stand alone. In spite of all that, right? But my country's gone. Now, the good news is for those who want it. If you don't want it, the hell with you. I don't care. But the good news is, in spite of what's happening in my country and in the world, you can have perfect peace in spite of everything that's happening around you. You can be in this world, but not of it. But you can. It's not going to happen by you just saying, oh, I'm in the world, but not of the world. You're lying. But you can be in this world, but not of it. And it's not something you make happen by you seeing that you're in it and of it. If you truly see it, you overcome it. You literally can overcome this world and have perfect peace in spite of everything that's going on around you, even if the whole world turned against you. And they will if you truly overcome the world. But it won't bother you. You can have perfect peace. You can be like the great white hope, Donald Trump. You can tell the war to stop, and it will. It will. But you don't know that yet because you won't overcome the world. Truly overcome the world. You still have anger. You still believe that anger is real. You have no love for anyone, not even yourself. You don't pray for one another. You gossip about one another. You try to hurt one another, but you don't pray for one another, meaning that you don't wish them well. You even hate your enemies. And God loves us all. But you hate your enemy. You hate everybody. And so you're going to be a part of the destruction of this world. You're going to live in fear. And you're going to get drunk. You're going to get high. You're going to get this and you're going to get that to try to avoid it, but it won't work. It won't work. And there's nowhere you can move. Oh, I'm going to move to the countryside. I'm moving out of the city so I can feel better. But you know what? You'll move to the countryside. You'll move and live on the grid, they say. And you will still cry at night. You will still worry. You will still be afraid. But you can have perfect peace right here on earth if you wanted it. I want to play one soundbite for you that is so interesting to me. Some of you may have heard the story of that black female that was running track. They were doing a track thing. And this one black female was accused of hitting the other track female upside the head with a baton. You heard about that? We played it last week. Well, I have an update on that story. Eh, what? What? Oh, my producer talking to me in my ear. Sorry about that. This is from WTVR. More than 50 people attended a rally outside of IC Norcom High School Thursday night in support of the runner charged in a track baton incident that has since gone viral. Watch this from 13 News Now.
The community held a rally today here at IC Norcom High School to show support for Layla Everett and her family.
We stand for Layla Everett! We stand for Layla Everett!
This is a good time to show that we can stand behind this young lady and show we support her.
Layla Everett was running the 4x200 event in the Virginia High School League Championships when the incident happened. The video shows Everett swing a baton, which made contact with Brookville High School junior Kaylin Tucker in the back of her head.
I just felt a bang on my head, and then I fell off the track immediately.
Layla's father, Genoa Everett, says the incident was accidental and Tucker came too close to his daughter when coming around the curve, causing Layla to lose balance. Tucker's mother told ABC News she doesn't believe it was an accident.
To see that they kept running and she not stop and check on my daughter, that was the part where I was like, it couldn't have been an accident.
Amazing. Amazing, huh? Absolutely amazing. And then two rally attendees shared their comments, and the NAACP said they are reviewing the case. Watch this.
On Wednesday, we learned from the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office from the city of Lynchburg that a petition was issued for assault and battery. Since the footage has gone viral, the Everett family says Layla has received backlash from across the nation and has even received death threats.
It bothered me to my heart to see how the whole world was dragging this young lady based on what they thought they saw.
The Everett family has experienced racial slurs, they've experienced death threats, and we think unequivocally that those things are unacceptable.
The NAACP released a statement this week saying they are currently reviewing the circumstances surrounding the case, and in the meantime, they send their prayers and best wishes to Layla Everett and her family.
We feel, and we've seen throughout history, how the legal system can marginalize our people. We're not going to allow that to happen to Layla and her family.
Amazing. So NAACP and everybody, their mama showed up one side or the other, but yeah, they're going to make sure their people are not marginalized. So I want to know from y'all, what do you think about these people holding a rally in support of Layla? Or anyone? What? What? Why you tell me all that? Oh, you thought like that. I'm talking about producer again. What do you think about the rally Hake of the Hake report Monday through Friday?
I'm shaking my head. It's so ridiculous.
And what's ridiculous about it?
One, she's a perpetrator, allegedly. I don't believe
the
her.
One that been accused of hitting with the baton?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe her that it was accidental. And two, I know that there's a lot of people on the internet, whites and others, who are saying, "See, black people, this is typical black," but they're right. But they're not right to be harassing her or calling her names necessarily, or death threats. Everybody gets death threats. If you make a public splash, you're going to get death threats.
Right.
No matter who you are. If you take a controversial position, which is what she did by hitting her, allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
So it's silly. It's silly to be holding a rally. You're just calling more attention and spreading even more hatred, really.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think about the rally, Anchor Baby, of the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time? What do you think about the rally?
Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby.
You got to know how to rumble. The Anchor Baby is over there rumbling up rumble.
Thank you. You know, what gets me is like, this is between two black girls. And it's like, This is racist. They're
I
gonna
know.
marginalize black people.
They gonna blame the white people for that. What the? Like those people didn't do the stuff themselves. They blaming white people marginalizing.
Yep.
What the? But anyway, I'm sorry, I jumped in.
Well, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Like they're making it about that, so there's nobody learning anything here. There's nobody seeing any justice, truth, or anything here.
Amazing.
It's so typical for them not to take responsibility. For the
Good
girl not
point.
to,
Yeah.
the parents not to, and then to play victim. And to say, oh, they experienced racial slurs. Who hasn't experienced?
Derek, come here for a minute. I want to ask my producer what he think about this. He black and he's a Z.
Right, a Zoomer.
Tell that caller to hold on for a minute. And you'll be right back. I gotta hear. He's a Zoomer, and so this is like a Zoomer thing. I guess the runners were Zoomers too. They seem to be kind of young.
They may be even younger than Zoomers.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, amazing. So Derek gave me this story this morning. My producer. He black, and he's a Zoomer. And I don't know if I asked him what did he think about this. What did you think about this rally supporting the girl that's been accused, black girl, she black, accused of hitting another black girl beside the head with a baton? What did you think about the rally itself?
It was some mess.
I'm sorry?
It was, the rally was, is it good? Can you hear me? Nope.
He doesn't even know how to turn the mic on.
No, I turned it on. Look, I turned the switch. Yeah.
See, he doesn't.
Oh, that's the battery.
Is he a Zoomer or is he a Boomer?
He's a black.
Look, it's on now.
He's a black.
But Nick is blaming himself.
Sure.
It's Nick's fault. We'll blame the anchor baby.
Everybody
Testing, can you hear me?
Whoa.
No.
He can hear me.
Yeah, he's in there.
So Zoomers are between 13 and 28 years old.
Okay, so they are
according to
Zoomers.
Brave AI.
Yeah, those gals.
Zoomer.
So what do you think about the rally to support these black girls?
The fact that these adults are encouraging this young lady, this so-called victim, it really tells a lot about the adults and how they are really essentially incentivizing that this woman is a victim, you know? And we all saw the video. We saw her slap that girl upside her head. So, and that guy in the clip, and that guy in the clip, allegedly, and that guy in the clip was saying, you know, America was bashing her for what they saw. we all saw the same video, and it's clear as day that girl slapped that other girl upside her head.
Well,
In his opinion.
In his opinion.
In my opinion,
Intentionally
fine.
or not.
Right.
Okay.
It's crazy that we have to pretend.
And so we have to, so it's like, we can't trust our eyes anymore, you know? We all saw that.
Are you chewing gum?
Yeah, okay. It was. I don't want to promote the gum, but
Are
yeah.
you chewing gum?
Sorry. Yeah, I was. I am.
You
I am
look
now.
like a cow.
Never, ever, ever chew gum, especially on mic.
Never chew gum.
Oh, is that why
Right.
someone said chewing cud in the chat?
Chewing cud.
Yeah, man, you look like a cow chewing on a cob.
This is some expensive gum.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're still in public chewing gum.
Okay.
Some NZT.
Didn't your mama teach you better than that?
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting to get on the show this morning.
Just put it behind your ear temporarily.
Really?
What?
What? You do that?
Yeah, put the gum behind your ear.
Just don't let it get
Really?
into your hair.
Am I doing that right now?
No, don't do that.
Okay, I was really gonna do it.
So, long story short,
Right on.
this rally is a dumb, the whole rally is dumb. It's evil. There's not one reason that one person should be at a rally talking about something that happened between two separate individuals. It has nothing to do with them. They have no right to try to support anyone in it. This issue should be resolved between those two people that this thing involved, the two girls.
Right.
However they resolved. But it's dumb. What they going out in support of? Why? That doesn't even make sense. You gotta be dumb to hold a rally for that reason.
Well, we can't forget.
And then you want to blame somebody that they try to marginalize, or somebody said, the blacks. Why are you holding a rally? It has nothing to do with it's just between those two people. It's all ego, it's fake love, it's not real at all. These people holding these rallies so they can feel good about their miserable lives.
But
that's what this is about.
You're forgetting.
This should have never happened.
You're forgetting
this
about her mental health.
Ridiculous.
You're forgetting about her mental health, Mr. Jesse.
But how's the rally?
Yeah, she hit her in the head, but you're not thinking about her mental.
You're not thinking about her mental health.
But how's a rally going to help that?
How is a rally going to? It's going to remind us about her mental health.
But how's a rally going to help her mental health?
Yeah. Well, it's
not
not.
One of those people at the rally can do anything about her mental health.
It's actually encouraging her deeper into that.
Yeah, she's really gonna be sorry, feel bad now. Oh,
now she can get attention.
These black people should be ashamed of themselves to hold a rally for that reason. Yeah,
you know, these girls were competing at the state championship level, class 3, not the best, not the top quality, but they were state champion level runners, allegedly, in this 4x200 meter relay. And it used to be that athletes had to be like model citizen type people. They wouldn't be ghetto acting like this, hitting and then not taking responsibility and stuff like that.
And then some black people showed up for a rally. What are they rallying for? They don't even know these people. They're not, the problem is between them and their family, the dad and the mama of that one girl, and the dad and the mama of the other girl, and whatever they do to resolve, it should be over. I used to run track, and I was very good at it, by the way.
Did you run barefoot?
Did you ever get in a fight?
I never got back in those days, black people didn't fight.
Yeah.
They didn't fight like this.
Right on.
I don't even know, I was in one fight during my whole high school time. But it was just over a baseball bat.
Did you win?
Baseball is where people get into fights.
Right.
I think I got in a little scuffle.
But black people didn't
something.
fight like that. Black people ain't whole rally trying to support wrongdoings or whatever they were.
Yeah.
This is dumb. They ain't got nothing else to do but hold a rally for this.
They
taking side like this.
This is proven.
They shouldn't even take side.
It's proven the whites. You know how the
What's
whites
wrong
are like,
with the blacks?
The whites see the girl hit the other girl over the head, and they're like, typical black. And then they see the blacks holding a rally, and then they're like, oh, typical black.
Right.
And they could have at least started a GoFundMe for the actual victim.
No, they shouldn't have.
They could have actually to pay for the medical bills.
No.
For the girl who
I'm
suffered a
taking
concussion.
care of the blacks, man.
Oh, well, you don't have to. I'm saying it's just a GoFundMe. It's,
no, don't do that.
I'm saying the woman who smacked the other woman with the...
It ain't had nothing to do with nobody, no black, no GoFundMe. Let her mama and dad insurance take care of it. There was a problem. But no.
Okay.
No.
None.
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing. It's done.
When are we going to live the life of nothing again?
It's just what it should
when
have
I
been
run
was...
the track, nobody was going to hold a GoFundMe if I had broken my neck.
What it should have been is a viral video because, look at this. What a sight. Ever seen that before? No. And then you move on. You don't hound them and you don't act like they're victims because they got all kinds of international attention.
Right. I'm just thinking that this rally is so stupid. The people that in the rally look dumber than the two girls that are involved in the incident.
Yeah, for real. The NAACP.
Right. What for? They just feel good. Their egos feel good. They are creating an image for themselves so they can feel better.
Trying to look important.
Yeah. Yes, Derek.
I mean... Since the world is so focused, my only thing about the GoFundMe was since the world is so focused on this thing, if they want to give their attention, they might as well give some money too.
No.
If they really want to so-called help,
victim, you're just going to create more victims.
Yeah,
Everybody and their mama going to have a GoFund.
There.
If you white. Their mama if you white. They mama if you're black. And these are blacks.
Okay. All right.
All you do, everybody going to have a GoFundMe. The dog died. We need a GoFundMe to bury the dog.
But you don't have to, contribute to the GoFundMe.
But why even don't even suggest that for them, man?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. When will human beings take care of themselves again? Yes, Nick.
No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
But I was
wonder
just
if
thinking
she-
about how evil it is. It really is evil.
It's pure evil.
And how in general, you wonder, it's like, how can a people be wrong, or what can be happening with people? It's this. It's this simple. Training, not going against a feeling. Oh, you feel bad for her, and it goes and it grows and grows and grows.
Yes, sir.
I started to wonder if the girl, because they said that she got a concussion. I wonder if she really did get a concussion, because those batons are not that heavy. You'd have to hit pretty hard to give somebody a concussion over that.
Yeah, I remember I used to do, one of the things I did, besides the 50-yard dash and the mile run, I did the mile relay. And because I was so fast, I would be the one that bring the baton in.
The anchor.
Thank you. And it's not heavy. It's very light.
Yeah.
It really just, it has to be light for you to run fast.
If
right?
somebody hits me, I'm going to play up how bad my injury was.
But I'm not even concerned about that. I'm concerned about what are these black people holding a rally for?
Yeah.
And then they still try to make sure the white man don't marginalize it. It's insane. They're still pushing the idea of racism.
Well, it's to show Layla Everett that she's not alone and her mental health matters.
None of those people with Layla and they can care less about her health. Zero. And it ain't doing nothing about her mental health except making her feel more like a, like when you're about to cry, even though you're lying when you're crying.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other thing I told you about crying?
You're committing a crime.
When you're crying, you're committing a crime. But
You got his eyebrows furled.
but
don't try to hit me with a baton. I don't want to.
It's going to make Layla feel more like a victim now. Oh, whichever one they support her. But anyway, thank y'all.
Right on.
888-7753. This is stupid rally. This doesn't call for a rally, and the NAACP is dumb and idiot. They out there looking out for their people. You can chew your gum now. You can take it off the back of your hand and put it back in your mouth. Some of you have your food delivered by Amazon drivers, right? You order your meal, and no matter how many times a day you order it, or how many times a week, or what you order, you don't expect your driver to be ticked because they're not doing it free. But apparently, some drivers are not that happy about bringing food to you all the time, or grocery or whatever. They're like, what the? Here's some doorbell footage of an Amazon delivery driver expressing frustration with a customer for ordering too often. Watch this from X.
I've been waiting on this day to tell you how much I hate this house. The waters, all the shit you order, all of the shit. I hate it. I hate this house. I hate that you order shit. You are the laziest house in this whole goddamn neighborhood. You're inconsiderate. I hate everything about y'all. I hate it. All you have to do is order the store from Walmart pickup or Central pickup or whatever, and go put the in your own truck and go do it your self. You are the laziest sons of ever. And then people bring this. We break our backs, we break our necks, we break our nails, we break everything to bring you this. And you're ungrateful as. I hope you know that.
What the? Don't mess with the blacks. What's wrong with the blacks? She is sick. Y'all ordering too much, too often. Go and get it yourself, she says. So, she getting paid to do a job. Are blacks that lazy? Quit the job, lady, if you don't want to deliver the food. What's wrong with the blacks? What a mess. Cussing them out. She said, you mess up her nails. Yeah. Don't hurt the nails. And just throwing the boxes up on the porch. No matter, I hope they don't have glass in it or anything that would break. You better not order in a Kool-Aid or milk in a jar or glass. And you want the blacks running your country. You heard what this so-called crooked woman said, and you want the blacks running your country. So, like, if they stop ordering, will she still have a job? Or will she go on welfare? I'm just wondering. 888-775-3773. What do you think about that, Hake?
It is kind of, they're single-handedly keeping her employed.
She should be leaving a thank you note.
And just take a few trips that way you don't have to break your back or your nails.
Right, you got to put everything on the lifter thing, the dolly.
But how does she know that they're ungrateful? I feel like I'm not getting the whole story. Maybe there's something where she's justified in her hatred.
Well, no such thing as justified hatred.
Oh.
There's nothing on earth that would cause you to hate anyone. No, there's not one thing that can happen to you that should cause you to hate anyone.
But I don't like broken nails either.
That's because you don't have any.
True. But I get hangnails, and those hurt.
Right.
But I've never blamed anybody for it.
Which is more important, her jobs or her nails? Does she need money to buy some nails?
Is that real? That's real? She literally, like, knew that she was being recorded and cussed out the Ring camera.
That's a good question, if it's real or if it's something to get on TikTok. It's hard to know nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting, and it's so black. You know, I was reflecting, and I was thinking about human nature and how over the last 36 years, Bond been in operation, my nonprofit been around for 35 years. But I started working on myself 1 year prior to that. So I've been thinking about this for a long time. And I was thinking about human nature. And the more I learned about human nature, the more interested it becomes to me. It is to me. I did not know growing up in Alabama, fun on the plantation. It was amazing. Walking up down the road at night and seeing all the stars in the sky because we didn't have street lights, so no lights, right? So when you're walking down the road at night, you're in the dark, unless it's a moonlight night or just really dark and the stars are lighting up the sky. And so you can see by that too sometimes. And you would see the Big Dipper and all kind of things in the sky, and we knew what they were. Without really having been told what they were, we knew what they were. So I was growing up in Alabama, and it just seemed like they were fine to me. What the? And it looked like, and it was, people were kind to one another. I'm sure there was conflict somewhere, but I was young. I didn't know about it. And it wasn't until, really, now I knew some people were kind of mean, because I had an aunt who I thought she was pretty mean, but I still didn't think about human nature being as it is. And so when I first recognized that there was something wrong with human nature, or human nature, in the way that they treated one another, and it was shocking because I was a teenager when I first realized it. How human beings treat one another, because I really didn't know that I didn't know that human being could be as evil and nasty and mean to one another. Because it looked like we were human. And like when you're human and have been taught all our life, everybody's life, that you're created in the image of God and that we should treat each other the way God treats each other, right? And nobody knows what that is. Well, they didn't know when I realized. But human nature, I was shocked by it. My first shock, really, of the wickedness of human beings and human nature is when I moved to Gary, Indiana. I went up there for a while, called myself running away from home. And so I went up to Gary, Indiana, to see my parents. And I went to Edison High School for 1 year in Gary, Indiana. And when I first got there, so this had to be, let me see, 68, 67. It must have been around 1967. And when I first got there, Gary, Indiana was beautiful. It really was. It was an amazing looking town. But at that time, it was predominantly white. Predominantly white. And some blacks had moved to Gary, Indiana, family, oriented blacks. They wanted to get out of the area where the majority of the blacks lived, over like in the East Chicago and places like that. And so Gary, Indiana was a thriving city because it was literally controlled by the whites. And I'm not making this up. This is real, whether you want to accept it or not. But it was pretty much white, and there was no fear in walking the streets. When you would go downtown, it was like amazing. Shopping, walking around, whatever, right? Beautiful home. Everybody, the homes were beautiful. It was just a beautiful city. It really was. When I first moved there. And then, and so as I said, some blacks moved there. My family moved there. My parents and the family and others moved there because it was such a nice place. They had homes and stuff, and they moved there. So I went there in 1967, I believe, and I went to high school at Edison High School. And for a while, Edison High School was fun. I remember in Edison High School, I was taking this class, a mechanical drawing class. And I had no idea what mechanical drawing was. I had come from Alabama. We had no mechanical drawing class. And so I had a good friend, a white guy, and he and his family lived right across the street from the high school. But I had this friend there, and he was like really good at mechanical drawing, so he would help me. And I started to kind of figure it out a little bit. But it was fun. I had one or two black friends that I knew, but not a close friends. And so it was fun. And a lot of the time I would walk to school because in those days, a lot of the kids would just walk to school. And I didn't live that far from the school. So I would walk. It was fun. And then sometimes I would take the bus, and it was fun on the bus. All was well. And so around the middle of that year, before that year was up, Gary, Indiana, so we had peace. It was beautiful. You could walk the streets. You had no worries about any, like, crime and all that at all. And so you could walk the street and have fun and not think. You can go downtown. You could go to the movies. You could go to the hamburger place, and you just never thought about violence. And that's how it was growing up in Alabama, when I was in Alabama. And so, in the middle of that year, I believe, they elected the first black mayor. I'm a witness to this. This is not like something that some stupid black people wrote about and they added to it or took away from it. I'm sure some people have already done that. But I was there. I was a witness. And I remember them electing the first black mayor. I think his name was Richard Hatchett or something like that. And the very next day, they elected him on a Tuesday. You know how they have election on Tuesday? As the mayor of Gary, Indiana. And the very next day, Wednesday morning, all hell broke loose. The school I went to changed at the at the blinking of an eye. Number one, on the bus, the blacks were fighting the whites and fighting with the Mexicans, because there were a few Mexicans. And they were fighting the whites, and they were, on the bus, I'm like, what the? And then that day at school, everything changed. It's almost like the blacks had pent up rage for the whites and no one knew it, I guess. I don't know. But the black kids started fighting the white kids in the hallways, and they would deliberately walk down the hall, and if white kids were coming down the hall like toward them, going the opposite way, the blacks would stand still to make sure the white would have to walk around them. It was all changed overnight. That's high school. Edison High School was never the same. And then eventually the blacks started moving into, or going downtown and disturbing the white businesses and things like that, and all kinds of stuff started happening. And overnight, Gary, Indiana changed from beautiful living to hood. Crime. The white people decided, you know what, we're getting out of here. It looked like, I know it didn't happen overnight, but it seemed as though overnight they packed up and just left. And they went out into a suburb of Gary and they built out there. And all of the shops and the stores and everything was shut down. And it seemed as though the white people just left their home. I don't even know if they sold those houses. It looked like they just left them. Because even today, most of those houses are still abandoned homes. And they're falling apart now, you know. Everything falling apart because of the season. But it just changed overnight. And once the white people left, the blacks started to attack each other. And crime was out of control in Gary, Indiana, where the blacks, because the white people were gone, the blacks had to start attacking one another. Because that's how anger is. The human nature is, if you can't attack the one you hate, you're going to attack the one that's around you. And it was shocking to see such a beautiful area overnight turn into dust because they had a black mayor, and for some reason everything just changed. And things have never been the same in Gary, Indiana. And a lot of black people, those who went there to build families and things like that, they had left too. They're gone. They followed the white people over into the suburb area, new area, and settled down there for a while, but then the white people moved somewhere else. And I often wonder, why is it when white people leave and the blacks and the Mexicans, especially the blacks, when they move in, they can't keep it going or add to it? It's interesting to see that. And then they say, well, it's like this because the white man left. But that's not a reason. How come you can't build and you can't keep going, just like the white man? But it became a hell. So I want to show you a recent footage. This is our friend Big Bump sent this to us. I want to show you, and again, I'm going to show you a recent footage of Gary, Indiana, and then I have some images to show you what it looked like at one time. So this is a recent footage of Gary, Indiana from TikTok. Watch this.
The text reads, Gary, Indiana is sitting completely abandoned. Founded in 1906, Gary was once a booming city. During the 1960s, the population started to drop as residents began losing their jobs. In 1993, the city was named the murder capital of the United States. And by 2019, over 20% of the city's family homes were reported vacant. There are now over 13,000 abandoned buildings in Gary, including over 25 schools with everything left behind. Family homes just filled with memories just left to rot. And churches. The city has now been trying to do its best to rebuild in the last few years. That was the text on the video.
That's amazing, huh? Hey said, could I hear you well? Turn down music, Nick. Can't hear you well.
Yeah.
Too late.
Did it get right, Hake? I was turning it down.
Oh, okay. So when I see that, memories come of how it used to be. And I recognize those areas as though I'm there right now as I watch. And it used to be beautiful. And remember I said that it looked like the whites just left their home? They didn't sell them or take the furniture or anything. They just left. And I remember my good friend, he and his family lived across from the school. Everything was beautiful. And one day he wasn't around anymore. And so I went looking for, like, where's my friend? I went over to their house. They were gone. It's like overnight, they just left. And he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. They were just gone. And I never did hear from him again. I'm like, what happened to that family? Where did they go? Do we need to do that over again, James? It was too loud, the whole, I had to force to hear you. Yes, please. Let's do it over again. I want to replay. Hopefully we can get it right this time. I want to replay this footage of a recent footage of Gary, Indiana. Turn the music down and everything. I don't know why it had to be that loud.
Mm-hmm.
Black people love loud music. But anyway, that's a different color. So
all right, here we go.
Here's the footage of Gary, Indiana from TikTok.
So Gary, Indiana is sitting almost completely abandoned, it reads. Founded in 1906, Gary was once a booming city. During the 1960s, the population started to drop as residents began losing their jobs. And in 1993, the city was named the murder capital of the United States. And by 2019, over 20% of the city's family homes were reported vacant. There are now over 13,000 abandoned buildings in Gary, including over 25 schools with everything left behind. Family homes filled with memories just left to rot. And churches. The city has now been trying to do its best to rebuild in the last few years.
They've been trying to do their best to rebuild in the last few years. They can't rebuild it because they don't have any white people there to do it for them, or to show them how to do it, or do it, and then the white people hire them to help do it. They can't do it. They cannot. I want you to think about it. That was a whole city that was destroyed. I even saw a fan in one of the rooms still on. It was still turning in the top roof, the ceiling fan. It's like they just left. And over the last 30 years, give or take, maybe longer, they have not been able to build because blacks cannot build. They can only tear down. Because just think about this. If blacks had to know how to build, to make something beautiful and make it happen, wouldn't that be a good experiment for them? To, okay, white people are gone, we're gonna make it even better. But they didn't, and they can't. And all the inner cities end up like that. And the blacks leave, those who can, and they go to the suburb where the whites are located. And then they hate the people that they follow. But I remember those areas. The last time I went to Gary, Indiana, I visited some of those towns right there, how they look right now, and I couldn't believe it. I remember when the white people left, at some point, the city was trying to sell off the homes, and they were selling a house for $1. $1. Think about that. A whole house. But the blacks didn't buy the homes because they couldn't build it, because one of the requirements is they'll sell you the house for $1, but you're going to have to build it up and keep it going. And because they couldn't keep it going, they couldn't pay for $1 for a house. What's wrong with human nature? I know, but I'm asking a question that I already know. What's wrong with human beings? What's wrong? We came from God. We came from God. What happened along the way? Human nature is so evil. I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it now, but I didn't know this. And my first shock was in Gary, Indiana. But then I still didn't understand human nature until later in life. So you saw what Gary, Indiana looked like now. Here are postcard images of Gary, Indiana, and contrasted with modern day photos. Here is the first one. This is from is this NWI Times? NWI Times. This is the Knights of Columbus Club Hotel. This first one.
Yeah. On the top, you see the postcard, and it says, "Looking east on 5th Avenue, showing Knights of Columbus Club Hotel, Gary, Indiana, 56.
That's how it looked when I lived there, folks. And look at the bottom picture.
There's a busted down, like, RV. There's just, like, an empty lot.
And look at the hotel. The color gone.
It's definitely different.
It's dead. That's so downtown Gary, Indiana. It looked like a junkyard now. But the top picture is what it looked like when I lived there, when the white people were staying there.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Here's another image.
This is Marquette Park. And
whoa!
what you're looking at the top here, it reads, Father Marquette Statue, Marquette Park, Gary, Indiana. And I don't know who Father Marquette is, but it's all grown. No one's cut the grass in forever in the bottom picture.
They gone.
They're not even cutting the grass.
They gone.
I actually never seen that in a city.
That's the part now down. That's what it looked like now in Gary, Indiana. But that's what it looked like when I was living there up top.
I've actually never seen a city not cut the grass.
Here's the next image of the Palace Theater. Oh, God, I remember this. The Palace Theater and Elks Club.
It reads here, Palace Theater and Elks Club, Gary, Indiana, 45, the Steel City.
Yep.
And all that's gone. It's boarded up on the bottom.
All up in downtown there.
It's boarded up. Wow.
I remember the top picture when I first moved there. It was like that, and then the white people left because the mayor the black mayor once he became mayor, the black people went nuts. Here's the next one is the downtown Gary.
Correct. Downtown
Lord
Gary.
have mercy. The top picture is what it used to be. Look how everybody walking the streets and they ain't afraid. All dressed up, walking the streets.
I noticed the cars had more color back then.
Of course. Those were manly cars. They got girly cars now. A little electric car that doesn't make any noise at all. Real light. You drive on the road, you don't feel the road at all. But that's what it used to look like. And then the bottom one is what it looked like now. There's nothing downtown, empty buildings. You may find a barbecue stand along the way, black barbecue stand. And then the next picture is Bathhouse Gary Bathering.
It says Bathhouse, the Gary Bathing Beach on Lake Michigan, Gary, Indiana.
Oh, yes.
It looks like the... like
it's
a
so
villa
white. Yeah.
in the top picture. You don't even see a beach on the bottom one.
White people love first-class living. They don't like all this mass fighting and burning down stuff and carrying on like that. That's not their thing. So the top one is what it was prior to the mayor, black mayor, and now this is what it looks like now. And then the last one is, or the second to the last, oh, no, the last one, United States Post Office. I remember this.
Hold on. Here you go.
Yep. That post office ain't like that no more. It's like this on the bottom now. Wow. The flag gone and everything. And they got mostly black women running Gary, Indiana now. Ain't no way it's gonna change. I was going to read something, but it's too far up. I have to bring it down when I come back. Let me take a break. Some of those buildings we showed you are beautiful buildings, right? And unfortunately, according to that TikTok, there are almost 13,000 abandoned buildings there in Gary, Indiana. 13,000. So why isn't that? Well, I know why. I'm about to ask a question I already know the answer to. That someone white have not gone back in there and rebuild. They can't because it's populated by mostly blacks and now Hispanics. And the blacks ain't going to let you build there. Every time you try to build something, they're going to destroy it, rob, break in, blah, blah, blah. It can't happen, so no investors want to take that risk. It's like trying to go to South Central L.A. and trying to rebuild. It ain't going to happen. Isn't it like human nature? What's wrong? I know I'm asking this question too, I already know. What's wrong with human nature, human beings, that you treat one another in this way? According to USA Today, 2019, an estimated 13,000 abandoned buildings in Gary, Indiana. Black mayor kind of like how the blacks went nuts with Obama. Yeah, that's for sure. Hake wrote that, so get Hake. And so what happened was, when that happened, and I was there to witness it, and I had not come from a violent like that. I've never seen it before. I really had not. I understand why the whites are afraid of the blacks. Because they don't grow up like that. Their environment is not like that. And so it's a shock to the system when you run into human beings who treat each other and others in that way. It's a shock. And so what happened was, when it all happened, I said, I'm out of here. I'm going back to Alabama. and I had 1 year left to finish high school. And so I went back to Alabama because of that. I couldn't handle the violence. I had never seen anything like that before. I didn't know human beings treated each other in that way and others. Because even in Alabama, sweet home Alabama, it's country western Tuesday, we were taught to treat others the way that we would like to be treated. So we were kind to one another. That didn't mean we always agreed, but we were kind to one another. Whites and blacks in Alabama. And so it was a shock to my system. It was so bad, I wouldn't ride the bus home anymore. From school to or from school, I would walk, even when it was like really cold. And sometimes with so much snow, we had to take off from school for like a week or two. But even when we were able to go, I had to walk in the snow because I wouldn't get on no bus with black people fighting like that. I wasn't used to that. So I went back to Alabama. And the white people head for the hills. They ran out into the suburb, and I went back to Alabama. And I'm sure the blacks who had not been accustomed to that, they left too. Because I remember when I went to Gary, Indiana, and over in Chicago, the blacks were out of control over there. And so my parents would warn me, because I didn't know, do not go over to Chicago. Chicago is like 30 minutes away or so, or maybe a little shorter. And you could easily go there and try to enjoy it, but I was told not to go because the blacks was already out of control. Black Stone Rangers and all of them, they was like out of control over there. And the blacks were afraid. So I didn't go over there. But I went back to Alabama after that happened to Gary, Indiana. I was shocked. I had never seen human violence like that. And these liberal blacks, they want you to think that Alabama was a bad place. They don't tell you that Gary, Indiana, Chicago, up north were worse. Alabama was paradise compared to the cities up north. And it was totally the reason I went back. I packed my bag and went back. My grandmother told me, I knew you were coming back. I'm like, what the? The city council, which is the governing body there in Gary, is currently led by an all-female team, a first in the city's history. That's from inside Indiana business. It is not going to get better. After all these years, it still look like that. And even worse. Michael Jackson and his family from Gary, Indiana. They went to Roosevelt High School. I went to Edison. Human nature is pure evil. I do a lot of counseling. I counsel with family members and others around the world. And it's amazing how family members treat each other. Not just like non-family members, family members treat each other. They don't treat each other with love. Sometimes they have a good day, they put on a front of love, but the moment you make them mad, you disagree, it's over. How come human nature is so wicked? And they have it's controlled by all females now in Gary. You think things going to get better? No. Look at the female. I was thinking about the my country right now and the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party appears to be controlled by black females and white liberal women as well, and a few beta males. And as a result, it's being controlled by women. It's out of control. It's crazy. And it's not going to get better. It can't. That's not the order. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children is the order. And the women are over the children because she's guided by the man, the husband, into how to raise the children. She cannot raise them on her own. She needs the light of the father. So, and I remember too when the last time I went to Gary, Indiana, I was told that this city was being controlled by black females, and at the time they had one white man, and I think he was over the fire department or something. I don't think he's there anymore. Have you ever thought about this, folks? How evil human beings are. And all you have to do, if you want to know what heaven looked like, you got to discover the hell in yourself first. You got to see the hell. And when you see the hell, you will discover heaven. You will discover heaven. But you got to first see the hell. You got to go through hell to get to heaven. Human nature is hell. Really, nobody loved nobody. Except for those men and women who have started to work on themselves, and they stay with it, and they start to overcome, and then love comes, and then they love one another. Let me go to first-time call out of New York. AMJAD. AMJAD, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Reverend. How are you this morning?
All is well. You can call me Jesse.
All right, Jesse. First off, I just wanted to say that I've been listening to you for years, and you've had such a major impact on my life. I wanted to say thank you to you for that.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. My question to you is, I have these friends that I've been reading the Bible with, and, you know, I come from a Muslim background, been interested more and more in Christianity, so we have these little Bible studies that we do together. And I've been trying to convince my friends that, talk to them about what you've been saying, that, you know, women are kind of the embodiment of evil, that Satan is her God, and she will try to bring her man closer to Satan as opposed to God. And they're just really not down with that idea. I'm very much convinced of it, but I wanted to call you and ask if you had any advice on how I can go. Is there a specific Bible verse I can go to, or how would you recommend I go about convincing them that this is in fact true? Yeah.
Well, number one, you can read the Adam and Eve story in Genesis. Everything is right there. The whole breakdown is right there. But secondly, I want to encourage you to never, ever, ever, but never, ever again, do what you want, but never, ever again try to convince anyone of the truth. You really shouldn't try to convince them of anything, but never try to convince anyone of the truth. You told them, point out Genesis to them. If they don't want it, leave them alone and let them stay in their hell, in their misery. Because that's what God does. He leaves you in your hell until you want to come out and you walk in the truth. So you're wrong for trying to convince them.
I see.
I
see what you mean.
Yeah. Remember when Jesus healed the people, he said, go and tell nobody. And the people went and tried to tell it anyway. Don't try to convince them. You're pointing it out, and I'll be done with that. You cannot make them believe. They don't want the truth, and you can't make them believe the truth. Let them suffer and die.
I see. So in the future, Jesse, just say the truth and then stop right there, right?
Absolutely.
Don't try to convince people. Okay.
Don't argue about it. Don't try to convince. And even in saying it, let's say you say it, but they don't want to hear it. Don't say it anymore. You're not supposed to throw pearls to swines. They don't want to hear. Don't be mad at them and don't try to convince, because they have a right to stay in their hell and you have a right to come out of yours.
I see.
But do not, even your family members, your own children, your wife, your friends, no one, never try to convince anyone. Don't argue about the truth. Really, you shouldn't be arguing with another human being, period, about anything, but definitely don't argue with them about the truth.
I see, absolutely. Jesse, I got one more comment for you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So back in the day, I kind of have a similar story to you. I was kind of a hardcore liberal Democrat, voted for Hillary Clinton. I registered to vote in 2012 at the age of 18 and voted party line Democratic all the way until 2018. And in 2020, I was actually on the Great White Hope's presidential campaign. I was his regional field director. And I wanted you to know that you were instrumental in that growth process, that you made me see the truth for what it was. And, I've just become a political conservative. And
that's amazing.
Yes, that's all because of you, Reverend Jesse. And I wanted to just, it's a huge honor to speak with you right now. You have no idea.
And it's an honor to speak with you. But again, now that you can see, I want to encourage you to stay working on you. And because this country is going to get worse, it's not going to get better. Mm-hmm. It's going to get worse. It's already hell on earth, right? Coming through human beings. That is going to get worse. But because you're working on yourself and you're overcoming that fallen state, in spite of what's happening around you, you'll be fine. You'll have perfect peace in the midst of the hell.
Okay, absolutely. And I'm in the process of, my mom is in Georgia, my dad is in India. I'm actually going to be traveling to see both of them so that I can tell them face to face that I forgive them.
Right on.
So I can have that peace. I've been listening to you very, very closely. Last question for you, though, Jesse, and I'll let you go because I know there's other callers. But will you ever be here on the East Coast? Because I've always wanted to come and visit you in person, but I know you operate in California. So
absolutely, we have lots of stuff coming up now. I'm starting to travel again, and now that the Chinese virus is gone, and I hope the airplanes stop falling from the sky and all that mess. But yes, and we're gonna put it on we'll put it on the website, and make sure we have your email so that whatever city I'm in, we send out an email blast about it.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate you.
You stay with it, man. Stay with it, and never, ever, ever, but never try at all, not one iota, to convince anyone of anything, and especially the truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God bless you.
You too,
Jesse,
buddy.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Yep. Bye now.
Bye. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Human nature is such that you cannot convince anyone of the truth. Only the truth can convince you of the truth. And the truth is only going to do that when you invite it in. When you invite it in, you open up so the truth can enter. Only the truth can convince you of the truth. No human being can. Jesse Peterson or anyone else. Jesse Peterson, Mama or Hake or the Anchor Baby or Joel Friday TV, he black. Or Jared, or me, or Billy. No one can convince you of the truth. Only the truth can do that. The president, the great white hope, is amazing. What manner of man is this? Even Putin obeys him. Not just the wind and the seas, but even Putin obeys him. This president has his hand full. I mean, and yet he getting things done like 90 going north. I have never seen a human being like this in my whole life. Remind me of Jesus. He really does. He just get it done. Even when the people chasing him and attacking like wild dogs, wild beasts. They're attacking him, calling him names and accusing him and hating him and just, He keep a smile and he keep going. He's not affected by the world. He's in it, but not affected by it. You could be the same way. Really. You can overcome the world and have control of the whole entire world. If you were to take control of your world, you can rule the world. That's so deep, I don't even know what to do with it. But you got to take control of you and your world. Trump is a perfect example of that. What manner of man is this? And his enemies, the Republicans, rhino Republicans, and the media, and the Democrats, they're like, this is hell on earth, right? And the children of hell is having a fit. They're snarling and grinding and snagging teeth and turning on each other and fighting with each other, arguing with each other, fighting with each other. They want to get rid of Chuck Schumer. Like, Chuck Schumer is a big deal, right? But they want to get rid of him. They're doing what people do in hell. They bring pain upon one another. If they can't get to you, they're going to hurt the one they're with. It's so, watching what's happening right now is watching a big movie screen. And what you see in the movie is what's happening in you and your world around you. If you can't destroy the one you can't get to, you're going to destroy the one that is around you, even your own children. Even your own children, because you're evil. And evil cannot stand alone. Fox News is reporting that President Donald Trump claimed that former President Joe Biden pardons of lawmakers who served on the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th Capitol riot. And others avoid. That little pardon that Joe Biden did is voided. He's taking it out. And the reason for it, according to this report, alleging that they had been signed via an automatic pen and that Biden did not even know about them. And everybody was saying that Biden had some Alzheimer's or something. They didn't know. But something was wrong. The light was on, but nobody was home. And they were saying that doing all that signing that we saw and that we did not see, he apparently they have this pen. I never, until last night, I heard about this pen. They have like this auto pen. It's signed for you. Oh, God. And they were saying, you know, they've been saying for a long time Joe Biden was a puppet. And that he wasn't even signing, right? Watch it from Truth Social Post from our News Nation. Which one is it, James? How dare ain't gonna tell me. What is it? News Nation. Watch this.
Overnight, the president upping the ante, posting that the pardons signed by President Biden are, quote, hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them. He continues those on the Unselect Committee, referring to the House committee that investigated January 6th, should, quote, fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is that they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without their knowledge or consent. This claim originated from the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project. They highlighted signatures from pardons that the president signed, including those for Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley, and the January 6th committee. They allege that the signatures are identical, suggesting the use of an autopen. They contrasted those signatures with the one announcing Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 presidential race, which they say is noticeably different. The president suggested on Truth Social, quote, the person who was the real president during the Biden years was the person who controlled the auto pen.
That's amazing. Now, do you believe me when I say human nature is evil? That's evil. But that's what's happening in your world or right around you. And if you're not working on yourself, you're doing it to others and they're doing it to you. You're afraid of going to hell? You're already in hell. Welcome to hell. You're afraid of dying? You're already dead. Eyes are open, barely breathing. But you're dead. You have no life. That's an example of it right there. A small example, but an example. Whoever did that, if this is true, they didn't care. They got what they wanted. And whatever impact it had on the country, it didn't even matter. They got what they wanted, if this is true. Here's what Trump first said about the claim on Friday.
Here's what President Trump first said about the claim on Friday.
Crooked Joe Biden got us into a real mess with Russia and everything else he did, frankly, but he didn't know about it, and he, generally speaking, signed it with auto pen, so how would he know? That auto pen is a big deal. 99% of the time I say do it, but they come up and I sign it. But you don't use auto pen. It's, number one, it's disrespectful to the office.
Human nature. Christ said, and I repeat, do not trust an angry person. An angry person is evil. An angry person is a murderer. And they will try to destroy you. They don't care. I don't care if it's flesh and blood or non-flesh and blood. Trump, I mean, it just, and I told you, like, when the first time that he ran, right? And he was coming down those stairs there at his hotel, he announced that he was running for president. I'm like, what manner of man is this? He will be our next president. And look at what this man is doing right now. He's just all over the place. He's like working for us internationally and at home. And the Democrats and the right-wing Republicans, all those years, could do nothing. Everything was falling apart. I'm falling to pieces, yeah. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. I pray to a God that I do believe in. They were doing nothing. The country was literally falling apart. Now, this man is sending the people back home. He meeting with Putin today. He met with a little guy from Ukraine. That's every time he came to America, it was like he was going to the bank. I mean, and then he warned those people over there in Allahu Akbar country. Okay, I'm giving y'all a warning. If you don't stop, I'm coming. And no, they wouldn't stop. And now the war, he blowing them up over the little Tutu people. Remember, he told the Tutu people, y'all better stop. I ain't playing. And the Tutu people would not stop. I was like, okay. And he went over, he blew them away. The little Tutu people like, what the? What manner of man is this? Trump is moving so fast, like the speed of light. And the Democrats and the writers don't know, like he's moving too fast. I even hear some of the Democratic voters saying, he's moving too fast. I'm like, moving too fast for whom? He's working for himself. Well, how is he moving too fast? How is that bothering you? You ain't at work. One other quick thing I want to know, what do you think about this one? So just for the Great White Hope, in case you wonder, what does Jesse think about the Great White Hope? What manner of man is this? The wind and the sea obey him. Leaders from near and afar obeys him, one man. They obey him. I heard that some of the person over in Europe want that Statue of Liberty thing back. So like, go sit down. You ain't get, don't be a gift giver. I mean, give it and take it away, whatever they call that. You ain't
Indian giver.
Indian giver. You ain't getting no statue back. What the?
Business Insider. GOP congressman says Doge might be moving too fast after facing angry town hall. Like you were saying.
Too fast for whom? This man doesn't have time to play. He only has 4 years here. I'm hoping you end up with 20. That Great White Hope, Netanyahu, and Putin, the dream team. You better be counting your blessing that God has given us Donald Trump. He's given us another chance because this country was I mean, did you see all those people that are coming from El Salvador? And how they've been coming here, and according to the reports, they've been raping and robbing and I guess selling women and doing all kind of stuff. They're going back now. Not all of them yet. But they're going back. That would not be happening if Donald Trump was not in office. And crime would be even worse than what you think. One quick story. What do you think about this one? Fox 2 Now. A former Afton high school student and graduate faces 2 counts of property damage motivated by discrimination for allegedly spray painting racial slurs, swastikas, and threatened messages on the outside wall of Afton High School and Roger Middle School. This is from Fox 2 Now. Patrick Salone's mother said she decided to turn her son in because it was the right thing to do. Watch this from Fox 2 Now.
We're right outside of Afton High School where 18-year-old Patrick Sloan's mother says that he was a former student here. Police say that he's now been charged with 2 felony counts of property damage motivated by discrimination. His mother says that she decided to turn him in to authorities because his actions are unacceptable. Police say Sloan spray painted racist messages and swastikas on Afton High School and Rogers Middle School. Now his mother is breaking her silence. She did not want to give her name and says her son was not raised this way.
He's 18, but he's very naive. This has just been a nightmare for us.
According to investigators, Sloan stole cans of black spray paint from a hardware store before the first incident, and it was all caught on camera. Police say he was identified by family members and even admitted to one of them that he was responsible.
I was aware of the incident, and after review of the security footage, I realized that it was my son. So I did what I feel is the correct thing to turn him in. I don't accept his behavior.
Amazing, huh? Where's the daddy? And why did the daddy let the mama do this to that boy? Why did the daddy say, you know what, son? You need to drop your anger. Stop hating your mama. I'm sorry that I ain't protect you from her. This is your mama's spirit at work, son. But the mama turned the boy in like she's an innocent mama. But I want to know what you think about that. Can you imagine looking at the TV and seeing Patrick, your son, there? You're like, Lord, that looks like my boy. Hey, I know he got the hood on, but to walk like him. I can't see his face, but I know that walk when I see it. Look, let me slow pause this news item. Is that, Lord, that's Patrick. What the? That's my baby. I'm calling the police. The mother, Sloan's mother said he joined a radicalized political group. Watch this.
Sloan remains in custody on a $25,000 bond with no court date yet scheduled. The Afton School District has since removed the graffiti, but his mother is still grappling with the impact of the hateful messages and says her family does not condone his actions.
He's become involved with a radicalized political group, and they had a march last Tuesday. He was considering marching with them. So his intent was to stir up the community, which he very well did. He is not of that belief system, and I am truly sorry for the concern and hurt that has been caused in the community.
What an evil female, huh? Well, I want to know what you think. I shouldn't have said out loud. I didn't want you to know what I thought. What an evil female. Would you want that for your mother? And why did his father allow her to do that? Why? Why? And they're holding signs, Hafton Strong. What the? No, you're not. My producer asked, would your mother have turned you in? No, my mother would have beat me. I would not have had but one time. We didn't write on walls, people buildings anyway. That was like, and now I don't know why this is so bad when they tell the inner city kids you can write on walls, and they call it art. They call it art when the blacks do it, but when the whites do it, they call it radicalization. And human beings are evil. There's no good in a human being. You're blind and you're crazy and you're lost if you think so. Let me go to Buffalo, New York, and talk to Jason. Jason, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
All is well.
All right. Hey, my question is for you. Hey, how do you think Trump is doing in his first, like, I don't know how many days it's been. How do you think Trump is doing?
Amazing. I mean,
by what metric?
It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing to see the things he have been able to do so far in such a short period of time. It's mind blowing.
What has he been able to do that's so mind blowing to you?
Number one, it's been reported that he meeting with the president of Russia today and the guy from Ukraine, and look like they may be coming up with a way to end the war. The wall is going up again. Illegal aliens are being deported. Jobs are coming back.
Not true. Hold on.
Baby,
wait.
drill.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna stop you there.
The tech people are joining forces with the Great White Hope. Hold on, Jason. I'll let you speak when I come back.
All right, okay.
Hold on. Let me go quickly back to Jason out of Buffalo, New York. Jason.
Yeah, I want to talk about the jobs part. There's other things I could like, but I want to talk about jobs. You said bringing jobs back.
Yes.
How is he bringing jobs back?
Well, there are several. There are several companies, Toyota and other companies, who have agreed to come back into this country and build factories again. Apple and a whole bunch of other companies have decided. So when they do set up shop here, and they are doing it, there will be many, many jobs available for the folks.
You know, they did that the first time, and it didn't happen. They pledged to do stuff. There was many, Trump lost many manufacturing jobs.
And what does then have to do with now?
It's the same format, using the same. You know, when he put the taxes, when he put tariffs on China last time, he had to bail out the farmers because nobody would buy they didn't have people to buy their goods, their items and stuff
what
like that.
What does then have to do with now? The jobs are coming back. The people made have already told the president, and they're looking forward to coming back to
I
America.
know. Yeah,
and
yeah.
and when it takes time, man. You don't just pick up your company over one
But
day
he
and go back to America, right? And
all right,
and so the jobs are coming back.
all right, can we talk about terrorists real quick? So, like, the
But do
whole
you
terrorist
agree
thing,
when
you
you?
think-
Yeah, you can talk about Terry, but do you agree with me about these company promises to bring their business back to America already?
no, because America ain't gonna have nowhere to sell their goods to. Who is America gonna sell their
Grapes,
goods to?
everything about grapes, man. I don't even know what you're talking about. But what
No, I
about
said, who would, like,
Toyota?
who would, like,
What
no,
about
who would,
Toyota
like,
and all those companies who are agreeing to come back to America? Do you think they're going to bring jobs?
that it's not the fact that the company's coming back. Who is gonna buy the goods from America?
No,
Who is
let's
gonna
deal
buy
with
American
that first.
goods?
You mentioned about the
Okay,
job situation.
Do I think they're gonna come bring back jobs? No.
And why not?
Because they're not gonna make no money with American workers. It's not profitable for them to have American workers like that. It's
And
not
so
profitable
they
for them. They don't make money that way.
aligned to the president when they said they want to come back.
The president is a liar, my nigga. The president, like, they probably would want to come back. The president is a liar. He's a liar. The president is a liar. He lies a lot.
Are they lying to the president about coming back?
I wouldn't say that they lying to the like. I'll say yeah, because they would lie to him to get the tax breaks and incentives and not do what they said they was going to do, or like that plant that was in Michigan.
And how do you know? How do you know that?
Because that's what they done did that many times. There was a plant in Michigan that Trump was supposed to open that never opened. That was supposed to have like all these jobs. I think there was something in Ohio too.
How do you know that they're lying to the president?
Because that's what they did last time. It's just,
how do you know that they're lying to the president? This is a brand new day.
I mean, I'm just saying.
How do you
I'm just
know
saying, like,
that
past
they're
results.
You're not answering my question though.
Past
How do you
results
know
show
that all
future
these
action.
Apple and all these companies that has agreed to come back to America? How do you know that they're lying?
Past results dictate future actions.
No, what?
Past results, what somebody did in the past, don't dictate what they're gonna do in the future.
How you know that
Past
these
results,
companies? You're not
there's no
answering the question,
consequence.
Jason. You're not
How do I?
answering.
That's how I know.
Jason.
That's how I know.
Jason.
That's how. What you yelling for?
I need you to
You
calm
yelling.
down
Why
and
yelling?
answer that question.
You yelling. I didn't answer. I said no. I told you. Past results dictate future
That doesn't
actions.
even make sense.
That is
Jason.
how I know.
Jason, that's
What do you mean?
So
that doesn't.
is Apple lying too?
Yeah, everybody. I'm telling you, they lying.
Toyota is lying.
Who is gonna buy the products from America?
Toyota lying.
Everybody lying, my nigga. Everybody is lying. Just like before, when he said he was gonna do the plant, like the you remember Harley Davidson love? You remember that? You remember like Harley Davidson left and stuff like that? Who else left? Like the other like can producer had left. The people left before. The taxes gonna increase stuff, so how people gonna go elsewhere?
And how do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I took economics. Because
How
I
do
took
you know
economics.
that? What? You went to a black
because I
school,
took
man.
economics.
What
I took economics. And hey, look at Kansas. Hey, look at what. Okay, before I get off the phone, before you like cut me off, before you hang up on me, look at
Jason,
Kansas model when they
calm
had took
down.
away. What?
Calm down. Slow down.
Can I?
Slow your
Can I just
roll.
say, look. Can you look at Kansas economic model when they did what Kansas did? Can you look at what Kansas did? Kansas, the state of Kansas, when they cut taxes, like when they had like a low, like they had like it was like a zero tax rate and stuff like that,
Jason.
and they ain't bring no money into the state. Wait.
Jason, I have no
Go ahead,
idea
go ahead.
what you're talking about, and neither do you. You need to
How
stop.
you gonna tell me I don't know what I'm talking
stop
about?
watching that liberal news, man. All you doing
How you gonna tell
is
me I don't know what I'm talking about?
all you
How you
doing.
telling me what I don't know what I'm talking about?
Jason, all you doing is repeating what you heard in the liberal news. You
Where did I hear that from? Where did I hear that from?
CNN and
I didn't hear that. You
liberal
can't
news.
quote what I said to you from CNN.
You have no idea. You sound just like them.
I sound like them, but I'm not saying what they say. I didn't say what they said. I'm trying to
Yes,
explain
you
to you
did.
what
You're
happened.
saying exactly what they said.
But that's what happened.
You're
That's what had happened
exactly
before.
what they said.
So I'm saying,
How do you feel about
if-
Trump deporting the illegal aliens back to their countries?
I guess like since he made deportation a crime, I can't have no I can't say like it's like against the law, but like what it's gonna do to America, the people, the good people that are being like shipped away from here, like the taking people away from their family, gonna start that stuff, is gonna bring like a resentment.
No,
The
it's
people that
not.
are
They can take their
non-criminals,
family back with them.
the people that are non-criminals that end up going
Jason, how do
that
you
end up
feel
being
about,
deported.
one more time, how do you feel about the Great White Hope deporting illegal aliens back to their country?
I got a feeling it's gonna be terrible for America.
How
in
do
the long
you
run.
feel about it?
I feel like it's a bad idea. He shouldn't have did
So
it. He shouldn't
why
have did
is
it in the
it a
manner that he did
bad
it.
idea to deport illegal aliens back to their country? Why is that a bad idea?
It's a bad idea to deport criminals back to the country. Everybody that he deported is not a criminal.
Why is it a bad idea? Anyone that came to this country illegally is a criminal. Why is it bad to deport criminals back to their country?
All right, are you saying like that's your, based on what
No,
you
that
said?
was
Like,
a
why is it a bad
question.
idea? Like,
Why
okay,
is it
tell you why.
bad
Okay.
to deport illegal aliens back to their country?
Why the people that are not criminals?
Anyone that
have
came here
committed no crime,
illegally
you know?
is a criminal, Jason. They broke the law, so they're a criminal. Why is it bad to deport illegal aliens back to their country?
All right, so So this is how. All right, how am I answer this? All right, why is it a bad idea? You taking people that established here in America. They haven't done no
illegal
illegal
alien
crime.
is
Hold
not
on.
an
Hold on,
American.
let me- I'm gonna say no criminal
An
offense. Hold
illegal
on.
alien is not an American. Illegal alien is still whatever country they came from. They're not Americans. Why is it
Okay,
bad
all right.
to deport illegal
Okay.
aliens?
All right, this is what you get to stand on. Why is it bad? It's like, first of all right, illegal alien. Why is it bad? Because they have not committed an offense, a criminal
They came
offense.
here
Hold on. You didn't let me-
illegally, and it's an offense. It's a crime to come to the country illegally. See, I told you sound just like the liberals. Now you lost.
No,
you don't know.
no,
you don't even know what
all
to
right,
say
all right.
because
You
all
say
you.
where I'm from. You say,
Hold
like,
on,
I got
Jason.
your answer. Shut up and nothing about the 34 charges.
Jason.
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 Nothing about the 34 charges.
Jason.
Go ahead.
Jason.
Go ahead.
One more time.
Go ahead.
Anyone that comes into our country illegal broke the law. They're breaking the law.
Okay.
And they are not American citizens. Why is it illegal to send criminals back to their country?
Because Trump got 34 charges and he hasn't received no punishment for that. That's
So
why
you don't have
they
an
should not
answer
do
for
that.
you don't have an answer
No,
for that.
that is an answer.
No,
that is an
that's
answer.
not
How
an
you
answer,
gonna enforce
Jason. That's
how
not
you
an
gonna
answer.
enforce one crime and not another? Yes, it is. How you gonna enforce one crime and
Thank you, buddy. 888-77. His talking point ran out. He doesn't know what to say because he haven't heard what the liberals say you should do. What a mess! Fritz out of Florida. Fritz, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey Jesse, how you doing?
All is well.
Yeah, man. I just want to wish that brother well. That was on the call the other.
You're right. I wish you well too. What a mess.
I hope he's on his way. Yeah, but
Speak up a little bit.
I want to answer the biblical question.
Are you a lawbreaker?
Yeah.
You are a lawbreaker. And why do you say yes?
Yeah, because I'm not following the order of, God. And, and the order of God is kind of like a law. Once you break it, I mean, you do suffer or whatever. So, that's how I feel on that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday, man. That's interesting, though.
Yeah, but also, is dying, like, when Jesus resurrected, right?
Right.
You said when he is me dying from, the false me and all the, and dying from earth, is that like my resurrection? Like how Jesus went through?
When you die from the false self, the ego, this illusion that you have about yourself, that's the death that Jesus did. Absolutely. There's only one death, and that is the death of the ego, the false self. All your ideas and the identities and emotions and worries and the thoughts. When you die from that, that's the only death that exists.
So that's the true. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So then, what did happen to the body then of Jesus' body?
His body was taken back up in heaven.
Oh, just like how our bodies are going to be like left on earth.
Our body would turn back to death, but I wouldn't cremate myself, just in case you need the body if you should go to heaven. And
Nah, I like my little body.
that's right. But there's only one death. There's no other death. When you leave your body, you're just leaving the body, but the real you is still alive.
Okay. Okay, cool. One more thing. The silent prayer, right?
Yes.
So is there like say I don't do it for a full 5 minutes because I'm trying to get into doing it and keep being consistent, right? So sometimes it's like I could probably just do it for 3 minutes, up to 5, and then sometimes I'll go even longer, like 10 minutes. Does it matter the time? Should I even focus on the time?
No, don't even think about the time. You just do it. Doing it 5 minutes is better than not doing it. But then what you want to do, you stay with it, and you practice being present all day long, meaning that even when you're out and about, and you want to be aware of your hands, you want to be aware opening doors and closing doors, and when you're talking to people, you want to be aware of yourself talking. And that's the same as the silent prayer as well. And then eventually when you sit and do it, the time, you'll find yourself doing it longer than 5 minutes. But you'll find yourself doing it longer than 10 minutes. You even find yourself doing it up to an hour. But don't force it. You just be aware and you just do it. And don't call it good or bad. You want to stop adding identities onto yourself. Just know, you know what, you did it 5 minutes. I wouldn't even think about that, but let's say you do. No big deal.
All right. Nice, man. I appreciate your work, man, and you and the fellas.
You're welcome, and thanks for your support, and you stay with it, all right?
Yes, sir.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Yes, sir. God bless y'all.
You too, buddy.
All right.
Bye now. So I want to give you one quick example of human nature. Human nature is evil. Your mama, your daddy, your brother, your brother, everybody. That's why you must return to the Father. And you can only do that when you can admit you're evil. And come out of your imagination, out of your thoughts. Amazing, huh? Here's an example. And you're not going to find anything good in human nature. Oh, I like to find something good in a human being. You ain't going to find nothing. You hear the women talk about, oh, let's find something good in a human being. You ain't going to find nothing. What's up? It ain't there. It's like looking for gold coal in human nature. Gold, you can't find gold in human nature. Amazing, huh? We're Dolly Parton. Finding something good in human. You ain't gonna find it, Dolly. Is Dolly Parton still living?
Her husband died.
Oh, okay. Dolly. Dolly, 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 why do you holler? Have nobody seen your Johnny Dollar? I can't get no sleep in this noisy street. I gotta move. I gotta find me a quiet place. Dolly, Dolly, you ain't gonna find no good in anyone. She like, find good in everyone. Said Dolly Biden, Dolly's billboard. You ain't gonna find no good, Dolly. You can put a billboard up and down the world, and you ain't gonna find nothing good in human nature. What the? Watch this. And what do you think about this one? There is, I'd like your thoughts on this video of a parent showing what they do at Walmart when their kids are hungry and want a snack. Watch this from TikTok.
In the store, gotta feed them. You gotta stop and you gotta feed them. Because one thing about me, when I'm hungry, you gonna make sure you eat. You gotta eat. Ain't that right? So when y'all hear y'all kids crying, just stop, take a break, and get them a snack. It's the only way to get them to shut up. That's it. It's simple.
Y'all see they quiet as a bee.
Hey, quiet. It's okay to take a break, y'all.
I mean, he happy.
It's okay. It's better than listen to y'all kids cry. And to the people that want to see the kids, here they are.
Y'all always asking about the kids. Here they are.
I don't know if I should laugh or cry at that. Just imagine setting that example for your children. Just think about that alone. And the fact that they would do something like that and make a TikTok video of it. Unless it's a setup, maybe they went and paid for the food and they came back and did this video. But I don't know, but human nature, human beings are evil. Really. That's why you can't be angry at them. They cannot help themselves. They know not what they do. There's nothing funny about that. That's more sad than funny. Forgive them. They know not what they do. One example that the father and the mother are setting for the children. And believe you me, the kids are going to do the same thing, and even worse, because evil gets worse with each generation. What a mess, huh? Human nature is evil. And one thing I know for sure, and without a doubt, parents don't love their children, especially the mothers. That they keep them in the public schools, and then they complain about the schools. All they had to do is take them out. If they loved them, they would take them out, and they were homeschool or some other private school or something. But they complain about it, pretending that they love the children, and they don't. They'll put the children in school because they don't want to be bothered with the kids. Their ego gratification comes from going to work, and people say, you have done a good job, while the kids suffer. I promise you, mothers do not love their children, and the fathers don't either. Well, the fathers are too weak to make the mother stay home and raise his children. Because he can't do it if he were working on himself. This is from CBS News. A viral video showing two middle schoolers fighting in the midst of a class at J. Hugh Middle School in Carlton, California, has prompted outrage from the parents as they learn that the ordeal happened while a teacher failed to interview. This outrage, I want you to know it about, is phony. It's not real at all. It's a pretense of outrage.
A violent attack between a boy and a girl.
KCLA News. Watch this.
A violent attack between a boy and a girl caught on cell phone video inside a middle school in Colton. And tonight we're learning both students have been cited. Colton police say the boy is the victim and the girl is accused of throwing a metal object at him that wasn't caught on camera. KCAL News reporter Michelle Gilly went to the campus to get some answers.
A dangerous classroom fight between a boy and a girl at Jehu Middle School in Colton earlier this week has some parents rethinking whether the campus is safe for their own children. Elena Tapia's 14-year-old daughter is the girl's friend and was a witness.
The boy had hit her and she blacked out. So she assisted her to walk to the office. But what I was more upset about was to know that the teacher that was in the classroom at that moment wasn't really trying to stop it until it got out of hand.
Crazy work. Video shows the girl throwing a laptop at the boy before he slams her onto a desk and she falls on the floor. We bleeped the racial slurs coming from kids in the room. The injured student is seen lying motionless and is eventually helped up to her feet.
Mason, I blame the parents. They do not love their children, and that's a phony outrage. Because if they were outraged, they would keep the children at home and raise them. They're not mad about that at all. It's just nice to be on TV saying that. I promise you, mothers do not love their children. They're pretending. If they love them, they would stay home and raise them. But they're going to put them right back into the school and pretend that they're outraged. It's all an act. It's all a thrill. And then you're supposed to think that, that mother, poor mother. No, not poor mother. And girls, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. If it's true, and I don't know, I wasn't there, that this gal threw a laptop or something at this boy, and he's not expected to defend himself, you got another thought coming. You keep on doing that, CI4, that's going to get you. If it's true that she threw that laptop, in this country, you have a right to defend yourself. But the females have been taught that you can do whatever you want to the man, the boy. You can attack him. You can falsely accuse him. You can beat on him. You can do whatever you want. You should not be touched because you're female. Keep on smoking on that and see how far that's going to get you. Human beings are evil. Human nature is evil. And the false cry from the mothers are phony. That lady, if she loved her kids, she would keep her at home and raise her. And educate her at home or join some homeschool or something. She's not outraged. It's fake. The parents say a subject, it's called KCAL 9, by the way. The parents say a substitute teacher was assigned to the class, and outraged community activists gather in front of the school on Thursday. Watch this.
A parent says there was a substitute teacher assigned to the class. School district officials say they can't answer questions because the students are minors and the incident is under investigation. Outraged community activists, including local pastors, met in front of the school Thursday afternoon. Rialto Unified spokesperson Saida Jaffrey said that hate speech or violence is not condoned and the safety of students is a top priority.
It is important for the community to know that quick and decisive action has been taken regarding the staff member involved. We are treating this unfortunate incident with the utmost seriousness.
Colton police say the boy and the girl involved in the fight were released to their parents. Neither one of them has been seen at school since the incident on Monday. The case has now been passed on to the Juvenile Division of the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office for review.
So if it's true that the gal threw a laptop or something at him, is she going to jail? And you notice how they want to blame the teacher. The teacher's not at fault for your bad children. You can't blame the teacher. The teacher's not a social worker. And you don't need a social worker at school anyway, by the way. You can't blame the teacher. The fight was between the girl and the boy. And they come from parents that don't care about them. And if the teacher had gotten involved and tried to stop it, you would blame the teacher for that too. Anybody but the students. Human nature is evil. We must be born again. Human beings are evil. And when have you not heard young people use so-called racial slurs? That's all they do. They live with that now. And they try to act like that's a big deal. If you don't want your kids using so-called racial slurs, then don't you do it at home. When you see the children acting out, when you see bad children, you're looking right at bad parents. And so that reaction to hate speech is all an act. This so-called group out there act like they protesting. It's an act. It's not real. They can care less. And if you're going to lock up young people for so-called hate speech, all the young people in the country will be in jail. That's the way they speak nowadays. It's all an act. It's just a thrill. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Marie, a first-time caller out of Florida. Marie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Happy Country Wednesday, Tuesday. Yeah!
Country and Western Tuesday.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Marie. Thanks for calling.
Amazing.
Oh,
I've been
amazing.
watching this show a while. My first time calling in, only because your business hours are the same as mine.
Nice.
But, right. But I can call today. I want to answer your biblical question, and I also want to get something off my chest.
Is it true when she's crying, she's lying?
Okay, that's not the biblical question, but yes. And I said that about the girl who hit the other girl with the baton. That's exactly what I put in a comment under a video. I said, if she lying, she crying. Crying, she lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. The biblical question, are you a lawbreaker?
Okay, I'm going to answer at face value. No, I am a law-abiding citizen.
Amazing. Thank you for that. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Amazing.
All right. All right. So I would like to mention something to you. Maybe you can give a little direction on it.
Okay.
So I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents were married. My mother ended up, for the latter part of my growing up, she ended up being the breadwinner. My father was gainfully employed for quite a while, but he had some legal troubles, and that impacted his ability to keep working. I grew resentment because I saw my mom working all the time, and he was at home all the time on the computer playing solitaire, talking to his buddies and stuff on the phone. So that, coupled with my mom and listening to her complain, I grew a resentment for him, which I later let go. I later let that go. But I looked at her like a perfect person until the shoe dropped, right? Because I recently told my mother that she radicalized me, and she fought me to death about that. But she's kind of like a pro-Black person. And I used to be just like her in that way. And what I mean by she radicalized me is by growing me up with this idea that white people are oppressors. There's this hidden boogeyman around every opportunity you try to take that's going to sabotage you. And this pro-black everything about Africa, which is so stupid to me because why doesn't she live in Africa? I mean,
That's
if
right.
if you are going to, try to instill this pro-Africa thing, why are we here in the West? So anyway, so she raised me with that kind of a mindset, which then in turn led me to become an activist, right? Which used to be keyword, but I had become an activist and got involved in groups and stuff that were pro-black. I never got into the BLM thing. I knew that was a scam up front, but I did get into some other groups that were trying to put some action together for the black community. And I was I was treated poorly in those groups, right? And I realized, what is it, what am I fighting for? That's what I started to think, because there was a lot of inner fighting and a lot of people doing each other wrong within those activist groups that I was a part of.
Of course.
So I felt like, exactly, I felt like I'm fighting for nothing at this point. On my own, I grew out of that pro-black thing, and I don't even like to consider myself black because of the connotation to it. Even if you just look it up in the dictionary, it has a negative connotation to it. But anyways, I'm not a part of the black community anymore. I removed myself. I'm just an individual, period, right? That's how I view myself. And this is when my mom and I started to have issues, because I was no longer her minion that she can call, and we can go on for hours talking about the plight of the black community. And I started to challenge her on her very beliefs. And when I told her she radicalized me, she fought me down. I'm conservative now, whereas I used to be on the other end of the spectrum.
And because I'm telling you, a question for me is what now? Because
sorry.
I'm telling, yeah. What now?
Okay. I know I'm going on. Well, basically, that's it. I'm at the end of it right now.
Okay.
My question to you is, we're at the point now where I'm like the only conservative in the family. And my mom and I are still close to some extent, although I keep my distance. She sends me stuff about her perspective all the time. How do you think I go about dealing with her, although we have this stark difference in our political and racial views?
Have you forgiven her for what she's done to you?
I have, but I know you recommend this. I haven't yet done it to her face or anything.
And then, so you have not forgiven her. Why haven't you gone to her and forgiven her for what she's done to you?
Because she doesn't feel like she's done anything to me.
Does she need to feel like that? You know the truth.
Oh yeah, I know the truth of the matter, absolutely.
So then why haven't you gone to her and forgiven her?
I will. And to answer your question on why I haven't, I just started hearing you talk about that, advising people to go and forgive their parents. And so I will.
And have you gone and forgiven your father?
Yes.
You went to your father?
Yes, I did. My father, I did because, she kind of turned me against him to some extent for a while. So
and
what
did you say to your father?
I told my dad, I said, first I asked him, why didn't you protect me from her, right? With her strong racial views. He didn't know how to answer that. And then I told him, I said, look, I forgive you, okay, for not protecting me from her.
And why haven't you done that with her?
Because her and I, the thing is, my father at least knows the error of my mom's ways. She doesn't, so it's kind of a strange thing to just be like, okay.
She does know that. Why haven't you gone to your mother? You know why. You're not telling me why you haven't gone to her. Why not?
Okay. Honestly, let me see. I don't really know. Why haven't I forgiven her? Why haven't I gone to her?
You're afraid of her.
To forgive her. Not anymore.
You are afraid of her. That's why you haven't gone to. You're still afraid of her because if you were not afraid, you would have gone to her.
Okay. 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 So you're saying it's the fear.
What do you say?
I think for a long time it was that, and now it's like we debate, and I just leave her alone. You know, I just keep a distance from her.
But she's still controlling you.
But you're right.
She still controls you. She can make you listen to her mess anytime she wants to. You're afraid to forgive her. So she will always control you, and you will always have the fear until you face the fear by facing her.
Well, the thing about the fear is, after we get off this call, I have no problem, and I'll call you back to update you. Calling her and forgiving her. It's not really a fair thing for me.
FaceTime with her. Don't call her. FaceTime with her.
I'm gonna see her in person today. I have to bring some eggs to her house.
Okay.
I'm gonna see her in person. I will do it today.
All right. Let me know how it goes, and then do the silent prayer, and everything will work out. It will just work for you on your behalf. It will change everything.
All right. So basically, just forgive her.
Yeah.
And
Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. You turned me away from my father. You were this, you that. You still impose on me. I'm wrong for resenting you. I know you can't help yourself.
I know you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why you lie?
Right.
Why you lie?
No, you know the reason? Because I know that's her reaction that I'm doing.
What do you mean?
But anyways, I'm going to see. Well, the statement of, I know you can't help yourself, for a mature person, we can understand what that means. But for the kind of relationship that we have, she would take that as me being facetious.
And do you care about that?
No.
Yes, you do.
I'm still going to do it today.
All right. Let me know how it goes.
Word for word.
And don't worry about it. If she scoff at you, that's on her. You forgive her. Right. Don't ask for forgiveness. You forgive her.
Okay.
Do you know that what she's done and is doing, that she can't help herself?
Yes, I do.
Then why don't you forgive her then?
Oh, I will. I'm going to do it today.
Why haven't you forgiven her? Why haven't you done that?
Yeah. Again, being honest, you introduced me to that mindset. I had never thought like that. I have always thought that forgiveness is something that we can do. If a person passes away, people can still hold resentment for that person, but you have to forgive that person to let them go. They're not here anymore to say it to them. But I always looked at forgiveness as something that you do on the inside. So I don't actually resent her anymore.
Forgiveness is apologizing that you hate the person, you're angry at the person, what they've done. But let me know how it goes because of time. I got to take a break. Let me know, okay?
Okay, I definitely will. I'll call back. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. I'll be back in a moment. The Hake report. He's one white man that's not afraid of the blacks, or anyone really, but especially blacks. At 9 a.m., from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Are you still afraid of women?
Wow, and then the camera just goes right at me. Do you see my face? No. I'm like your caller.
I know.
Shout out. Now I'm blushing. I'm about as red as your shirt. No, of course not. When she's crying,
she's lying.
She's lying.
It's
hot in here.
Not to me, it's cold. But for some reason, that question, you got hot. You are blushing and everything. You can't even sit comfortably right now. All eyes around the world are on you.
Whose arms are bigger, Hake's or little Jesse's there?
Little Jesse.
Jesse's?
Mm-hmm.
You can see a little definition.
Where?
Right there. At an angle.
Well, Jesse doesn't have to do that.
Little Jesse doesn't have to do that. It's true.
Right. Let me go quickly to AHMED. AHMED. Out of New York. AHMED. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Jesse? Thank you for having me on, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just want to tell you, somebody from New York, man. You have anybody in your audience that's from New York? Please vote out Kathy Hochul. She's absolutely one of the worst New York governors that we ever had.
Yeah.
She's absolutely garbage. I can name you a bunch of stuff that she's done horrible. She's messed with the vape industry. She's banned Delta 8, Delta 9. She ate THCA.
Are you on a speakerphone or something?
No, sir. I'm talking to you right. The phone is in my ear.
Okay, go ahead.
She's also like I've talked to people who have restaurants, and they told me that she's banned people can't eat outside. You know how you could eat outside a restaurant,
right?
They have outside.
Yeah.
She's banned that. She's also for the correctional officers. She's having them I spoke with some correctional officers. They're working 36 hours, and and the people that are protesting, she's telling them she's gonna they're peacefully protesting. She's telling them that she's gonna lock them up.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So let me ask, because of time, AHMED,
yes, sir.
Are there any signs that the people are gonna vote her out?
The issue is New York City. I think that's the biggest issue because that's where half of our state is. Everybody outside of New York is red. If you look at where Trump election,
right.
It was really Buffalo, and if you look at the map, it was Buffalo and New York City that was blue. The rest of New York State was red.
So
even in New York State, New York City, she put up tolls in Manhattan, and then she said just to limit traffic. That's so fucking stupid because New York City is a big that affects businesses because you want people to come. You want a lot of traffic so businesses could get a lot of money.
Yeah.
So she's retarded and
So they're not going to vote out then, huh?
I think maybe I don't know, man. Maybe in a couple of years, the more she keeps bringing these shitty policies, I think more and more people are gonna.
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse. My bad.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 23, sir.
Oh, okay. Amazing. But let me say this, because of time, I appreciate, and you're right about, they need to get rid. I can't even believe they keep her there. They definitely need to get rid of her. And I know it is because New York is so liberal that she's still there.
It's the city.
But hopefully, but hopefully, now that the Great White Hope is there, they'll get rid of that woman.
I was saying, I wish Donald Trump would have ran as a New York State governor first before he ran for president.
I know what you mean, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for having me on, and have a blessed one.
You too. Thank you. Let me go to Barbara out of Detroit. Barbara, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes. Hi, Jesse. How are you doing today?
All is well, Barbara.
Good. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because you was just saying that mothers don't love their kids.
Right.
If they send them to school.
To public school, yeah.
So if they send them to a private school, then that's okay?
If it's a good, decent private school, they have a better chance than public school, period. But homeschool is the best way and the right way.
Yeah, but you said that an educated woman doesn't make for a good mother or wife.
Yeah.
But if she's uneducated, how is she supposed to homeschool the kids?
Uneducated mother will homeschool children better than the educated mother because the uneducated mother is more sensible about life, whereas the educated woman is on the ego trip. She thinks she's equal to a man.
Yeah, but that didn't answer the question, though. I said if she's uneducated, how is she supposed to teach anybody if she doesn't know anything herself?
I don't know what you mean. I just answered that. She has more common sense than the educated woman.
Yeah, but common sense is not education, though.
Well,
that's just
yes,
life and living life.
No, that's not true.
You don't think so?
No.
So having common sense to be able to tell you 2 minus 2 or, algebra or anything like that?
Well, a non-college woman, she's gone to high school. She already know that. I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she's uneducated and all she know how to do is what? Are you saying all the way up until the 12th grade, and then she shouldn't have any more education after the 12th grade?
Right.
Okay.
It's not good. It's not good to educate women because, as I said, when you educate them, their ego go out of control. They're already out of control because they're angry, right? But it gets worse when you educated them because they literally believe that they're equal to men and they fight to be like a man and they turn against the children and everything. They don't love their children. They love their ego nature more than they do the children.
Yeah, but you also said that if a woman turns back to her father and she loves her father, then she is a good person. She can go ahead and raise her kids, and she loves her kids, and she loves her husband, and all of that other stuff.
If she overcome her wicked heart by forgiving her mother and forgiving her father, then she's not going to at all be in competition with a man at all. She would know her proper place in life without even thinking about it. Do you disagree with that?
Yes, I certainly disagree with that.
And why do you disagree?
Because if she's, first of all, she's probably not going to get married until she's older.
Who?
And then who's going to take the woman?
The educated woman or the non-educated woman?
They still have to be a certain age before they can get married, right?
They have to be 18 now, I think, which is a bad rule, by the way.
Well, how old do you think they should be married?
15 and up.
What? Are you serious?
100%.
15 and up, they should be having babies, and they know everything in order to home educate. They're not even graduated from high school yet. So how are they going to teach the kids and homeschool the kids, and they're only 15?
Even educated women don't know anything. They're dumb as a doorknob.
You think educated women don't know anything? So you never had a female doctor or dentist or pharmacist or anything like that?
Thank God, no. Whenever I... my doctor is a male, my dentist is a male, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever had a female doctor?
I've only had female doctors because don't no male know anything about how to... Well, I mean, there are male gynecologists, don't get me wrong, but they're just not as sensitive to a female like a female is. What do you mean?
That doesn't make sense. You know what? I'm so out of time. The thing's going to cut us off. Can you call me back on this?
I'm definitely going to call you back. I'll talk to you in the morning.
All right, Barbara. Thank you.
All right, Barbara. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye now. What a sad way to live. Anger can make you fight with a slot machine in Oklahoma. Anger can make you fight with a machine. Think about that. Anger can make you go off on a machine and fight it like you fight with your husband or your wife. And you still feel justified. And then you end up being barred from the casino. And you don't end up with your money anyway. But you felt justified with the anger, and you call it a thrill. Human beings. And I've told you this over and over, but do what you want. There are men and women around the world who are starting to wake up. Really, they are. I counsel with people every day. And they're starting to wake up, men and women, all races, because they all got the same problem, caused by the same spirit, and the solution is the same. Forgiveness, doubting thoughts, dropping the anger, and walking out of prison. You think that you're justified to even fight with a slot machine. Just think about that. You, a human being, get mad at a machine and you fight with it. You break it. And you scream and you yell. Like you do with your wife or your husband, ladies. Or your so-called friends or whatever. You're black, you're white, you're this or you're that. How come you don't see that anyone that has anger is stupid? Stupid. Don't you act stupid when you get angry? How come you don't see I'm acting stupid here? What the? I'm fighting with a machine like this guy did, according to News 9. This guy, according to the report, was angry. He fought with the machine. A Metro man has come forward after a video of him destroying a slot machine at a casino in Oklahoma went viral. A guy by the name of Joy Smith said he took his anger out on the machine when he said it malfunctioned after he hit a big jackpot, leaving him with nothing. Watch this from News 9.
The casino patron says he went from the high of thinking he won a jackpot to hitting a low when he lost the winnings in only minutes. George Smith says after going into a rage, he woke up strapped to a hospital bed. This is the video circulating on social media. George Smith went into a rage on a slot machine inside Grand Casino in Shawnee last weekend. Moments before, Smith thought he was going home rich.
I was just thinking like, me, my kids, my family, we gonna be straight.
Smith claims the jackpot rose over $500,000.
It got up to like 600-something thousand. And then the machine just shut down. And everybody was like, that's messed up.
Smith says the machine went black, and he was told by casino staff the machine malfunctioned.
I asked her what did that mean, and she was like, that means that you're not going to get paid. I said, why?
The Citizen Potawatomi Nation would not comment about the alleged jackpot or machine malfunction, but did send News 9 a statement saying there is an open criminal investigation into the behavior seen in videos that have been posted online.
Amazing, huh? See how the devil worked? He was in his head. He was angry. Satan said, you just won $1 million. Look at that. And the people, Satan's children standing around, encouraging to. And then the machine stopped all of a sudden. And Satan said, no, they're not going to give you money. Get mad. Fight this machine. Fight. Because you got your children. You got your wife. You got this to think about. And you overreacted and made a fool of yourself. Why couldn't that guy stay calm and deal with the same situation? I guarantee you it would have turned out much better for him. It would have turned out better. But he was in his head. He's in the spirit of anger. And Satan is the author of anger. He is your God and all his little demons. And you're fighting the machine. What would have happened had the man just stayed calm and told her, casino, the machine is not working, stop. And look like I got at least $600,000 up in here. What is there anything I can do? Now he walked away with no money and truckloads of problems because he overreacted. When will you stop overreacting? When will you drop your anger, stay calm, be still, and deal with life? This guy was put in the hospital and banned from the casino, according to the report. Watch this.
Smith is currently in an Integris hospital with internal injuries he says stems from the incident.
Throwing my body into the machine and all that stuff is like I caused a lot of muscle and tissue damage to my kidneys and stuff.
Smith tells me he was not aware he would be facing criminal charges, but did know he has been banned from the casino for life.
Think about that. All because he overreacted because he's angry. He's angry. And look what happened. Now in the hospital bill, he probably can't even afford to pay if he's that desperate about the machine. He got a ban from the thing. I don't know if they had criminal charges or not yet. But look at the problem that the ego, the mind, and emotion brought upon him. You do the same thing in your relationships and everything because you're angry. And somebody told you that anger is good. Look what this man jumping up on the machine with his whole body. Think about that. Oh, I thought my family would be straight. I saw that $600,000, and I thought my family would be straight. He could have won the whole $1 million and still be miserable. It won't make the family straight with $1 million. But now he got extra problems. You have extra problems because you overreact. And the thrill of overreacting get you in trouble. And you still don't see that it's you. You think it's happening on the outside of you and it's happening inside of you. It's in you, men and women. You are responsible to overcome you. I would recommend do what you want. You let the anger go, but hold on to it and see what it's going to bring you.
Machine and all that stuff is like I caused a lot of muscle and tissue damage to my kidneys and stuff.
Look what anger did to this man, controlling him. We're not in control of anything, nothing. You're controlled by evil. And if you happen to be one of those men or women who are working on yourself and overcoming evil, you're controlled by good. Do you know people don't want you to tell them that they're evil? You said I was evil. But if you tell an evil person they're good, oh, thank you. But you're telling them, you know what, you're evil. Ew, don't call me evil. I'm your mama. I'm your husband. I'm your wife. How you gonna call me evil? I'm your preacher. I'm your teacher. I'm your this and I'm your that. But you're still evil. What a sad way to live. Anger can make you fight with a slot machine in Oklahoma. Anger can make you fight with a machine. Think about that. Anger can make you go off on a machine and fight it like you fight with your husband or your wife. And you still feel justified. And then you end up being barred from the casino. And you don't end up with your money anyway. But you felt justified with the anger and you call it a thrill. Human beings, and I've told you this over and over, but do what you want. There are men and women around the world who are starting to wake up. Really, they are. I counsel with people every day. And they're starting to wake up, men and women, all races, because they all got the same problem, caused by the same spirit, and the solution is the same. Forgiveness, doubting thoughts, dropping the anger, and walking out of prison. You think that you're justified to even fight with a slot machine. Just think about that. You, a human being, get mad at a machine and you fight with it. You break it. And you scream and you yell. Like you do with your wife or your husband, ladies. Or your so-called friends or whatever. You're black, you're white, you're this or you're that. How come you don't see that anyone that has anger is stupid? Stupid. Don't you act stupid when you get angry? How come you don't see I'm acting stupid here? What the? I'm fighting with a machine like this guy did according to News 9. This guy, according to the report, was angry. He fought with the machine. A Metro man has come forward after a video of him destroying a slot machine at a casino in Oklahoma went viral. A guy by the name of Joy Smith said he took his anger out on the machine when he said it malfunctioned after he hit a big jackpot, leaving him with nothing. Watch this from News 9.
The casino patron says he went from the high of thinking he won a jackpot to hitting a low when he lost the winnings in only minutes. George Smith says after going into a rage, he woke up strapped to a hospital bed. This is the video circulating on social media. George Smith went into a rage on a slot machine inside Grand Casino in Shawnee last weekend. Moments before, Smith thought he was going home rich.
I was just thinking like, me, my kids, my family, we gonna be straight.
Smith claims the jackpot rose over $500,000.
It got up to like 600-something thousand. And then the machine just shut down. And everybody was like, that's messed up.
Smith says the machine went black, and he was told by casino staff the machine malfunctioned.
I asked her what did that mean, and she was like, that means that you're not going to get paid. I said, why?
The Citizen Potawatomi Nation would not comment about the alleged jackpot or machine malfunction, but did send News 9 a statement saying there is an open criminal investigation into the behavior seen in videos that have been posted online.
Amazing, huh? See how the devil worked? He was in his head. He was angry. Satan said, oh, you just won $1 million. Look at that. And the people, Satan's children standing around, encouraging to. And then the machine stopped all of a sudden. And Satan said, oh, no, they're not going to give you money. Get mad. Fight this machine. Fight, fight, fight. Because you got your children. You got your wife. You got this to think about. And you overreacted and made a fool of yourself. Why couldn't that guy stay calm and deal with the same situation? I guarantee you it would have turned out much better for him. It would have turned out better. But he was in his head. He's in the spirit of anger. And Satan is the author of anger. He is your God and all his little demons. And you're fighting the machine. What would have happened had the man just stayed calm and told her, consider, oh, the machine is not working, stop. And look like I got at least $600,000 up in here. What is there anything I can do? Now he walked away with no money and truckloads of problems because he overreacted. When will you stop overreacting? When will you drop your anger, stay calm, be still, and deal with life? This guy was put in the hospital and banned from the casino, according to the report. Watch this.
Smith is currently in an Integris hospital with internal injuries he says stems from the incident.
Throwing my body into the machine and all that stuff is like I caused a lot of muscle and tissue damage to my kidneys and stuff.
Smith tells me he was not aware he would be facing criminal charges, but did know he has been banned from the casino for life.
Think about that. All because he overreacted because he's angry. He's angry. And look what happened. Now in the hospital bill, he probably can't even afford to pay if he's that desperate about the machine. He got a ban from the thing. I don't know if they had criminal charges or not yet. But look at the problem that the ego, the mind, and emotion brought upon him. You do the same thing in your relationships and everything because you're angry. And somebody told you that anger is good. Look what this man jumping up on the machine with his whole body. Think about that. Oh, I thought my family would be straight. I saw that $600,000, and I thought my family would be straight. He could have won the whole $1 million and still be miserable. It won't make the family straight with $1 million. But now he got extra problems. You have extra problems because you overreact. And the thrill of overreacting get you in trouble. And you still don't see that it's you. You think it's happening on the outside of you and it's happening inside of you. It's in you, men and women. You are responsible to overcome you. I would recommend do what you want. You let the anger go, but hold on to it and see what it's going to bring you.
Machine and all that stuff is like I caused a lot of muscle and tissue damage to my kidneys and stuff.
Look what anger did to this man, controlling him. We're not in control of anything, nothing. You're controlled by evil. And if you happen to be one of those men or women who are working on yourself and overcoming evil, you're controlled by good. Do you know people don't want you to tell them that they're evil? You said I was evil. But if you tell an evil person they're good, oh, thank you. But you're telling them, you know what, you're evil. Ew, don't call me evil. I'm your mama. I'm your husband. I'm your wife. How you gonna call me evil? I'm your preacher. I'm your teacher. I'm your this and I'm your that. But you're still evil. I've told you over and over. But do what you want. God told you first, and you didn't even pay attention to him. So I don't expect you to pay attention to me. What the? I have to work on me. I have to stay with me and work on me. I'm just telling you how to get on that straight and narrow path. And so the source that was makes you free, he can take over. But I understand you don't want it. If you feel the thrill of hate and carrying all over a machine, you feel better. And you love fighting on the freeway, fighting in traffic, getting frustrated. The thrill of that is mind-blowing. Because you listen to thoughts and emotions, and you feel justified, and you get out of your car and do some of the crazy things I ever, or you stay in your car and do some of the crazy things I ever imagined in your head, thinking about the driver in the other car. You're doing it to yourself. It's a spiritual battle. And you love trusting thought and emotion on the freeway or on the street traffic. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, a judge, a president, a cook, a husband or wife, or black or blue, or whatever, red. You still love your thrills of thoughts and emotions. Even if you're a correction officer, you love your thrills. And listen to thought like this guy did in Florida. According to WPBF 25 News, a St. Lucie County, Florida correction deputy has been arrested in connection with an off-duty road rage incident. Watch this. Amazing.
Lucie County Sheriff's Corrections Deputy Devin Mills was arrested by the Port St. Lucie Police Department while off duty on Monday. And for the first time, we're seeing cell phone video of what happened.
Excuse me. Why you have to talk? What? Touch me if you want to. St. Lucie Sheriff's Department. Understand something.
Newly released cell phone video is now showing the moments investigators are calling a road rage incident between two 18-year-olds and St. Lucie County Sheriff's Correction Deputy Devin Mills. Investigators say Mills was off duty and driving around the 100 block of Southwest Tulip Boulevard around 6 o'clock Monday night when he stopped short in front of a vehicle that was behind him. In the video, you can see Mills arguing that the other driver was tailgating him too closely.
I smell my tires. Yeah, because you're too close.
Later in the video, you can see Mills reaching into the open passenger side window of the car, grabbing the man's arm in an effort to get his phone while he was filming the altercation.
Oh my God! With you, bro. Let me tell you on camera too. I hear you, and you too close. I'm calling the cops. Too close. I'm calling the cops. Tell them to pull up here.
According to the sheriff's office, Mills was charged with burglary with assault or battery. He has since been released from the St. Lucie County Jail on a $10,000 bond.
Amazing how the correction officer acting out. Inmates are running the insane asylum. And when you're angry, you don't think about the results of your anger. Like here, call the cop. Call the cop. He is the cop. Or a correction officer. Call the cop. Because when you're mad, I don't care what you do. Call him. I don't care. I'm a bad bitch. Call the cop. And then all hell breaks. Once you out of that situation, and the devil said, oh, look what you've done. And the devil was the one made you get out of your truck or car and go fight with the people and tell you, call the cop. No, tell them to call the cop. And you call the cop. And they call the cop. You realize what you have done, and now the devil laughing at you. He's laughing at you. All his little demons laughing at the fact they made a fool of you. And then as soon as that's done, they tell you another situation you get into. Go get married. Go on a Christian website and find a date. And you get destroyed by that date, and the devil laughs. And because you don't know you, you're not paying attention to you, you don't see what's going on. Know thyself if you want to be free. The kingdom of heaven is within, and so is hell in your mind. You can be free, folks. You don't have to live like that. It's done. It's completed. The Son has returned. He lives in you. The teacher lives in you. And the Father lives in you. We are family inside. But you can live in your misery. 888-7753. What a sad way to live. Unnecessarily. Love is a dispassionate feeling, not a passionate one. 0. And here's what happened. One small example of when you put the woman first, when you make her your God, and you try to please her, and you cater to her, and you can't wait to hold her, whatever. This man caught his wife cheated through her phone. He called the other man to confront him in a raw, emotional moment. He broke down, crying, and pleading with him to stop. Now, this may be an act, but it's true. This is happening in real life. Watch this from X.
Can't believe this. Violating me, I'm violating it. Give me 150, I'm calling this. Think they was slick in a car, leave their phone a lot. Yeah, I got your phone now. Somebody tell I got her phone. Yeah, I got your phone. Yeah, and I'm calling this and I'm calling him. Nah, I told myself I would never call a phone about no girl, but today is the day. Today is the day. I'm telling you, we are married, bro. Leave her alone, bro. Leave her alone, bro.
If you was doing handling your business as a man, as a father,
bro, you love her, son, bro, because you act like you really ready to die, bro. This is my wife, bro. I'm actually the sister.
Yeah. Listen, we've been talking every day for a whole 6-7 months. Feelings grown. I'm saying I got attached to her, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you really gonna sit here and tell me just this? Yo, bro, you're really telling me this just like this, bro? This is my wife, bro. This is my wife, bro. Bro, I'm not crying. I just don't know. Bro, this is my wife, bro. I'm not acting tough, bro, because, bro, I see it. Bro, I'm asking you a question as man to man, bro. Leave her alone, please, bro. Bro, please leave her alone, please.
Amazing. If it's real, I don't know. If it's not, but it's true. It's happening in every marriage. He made the woman his God. He went down to her level. Because had he not done that, and if it's true that she was cheating on him, he was like, oh, okay, bye, see you later. And if there were children involved, and let's say the court tried to prevent him from taking children, okay, you can have them. Either you're going to put first thing first, or you're going to catch hell. Ain't no way around it. If you feel something for her, you're in hell. That's not love. If you feel love for your wife or for your husband, you're experiencing hatred. That is not love. And it is bad. Hardly a day go by without I don't counsel with some guy who have gone through hell and is going through hell. And he gave her all that she wanted, and she only got worse. You made her your God. Anytime a man marries a woman out of love, he's married right into hell. Because you're not married out of love, you're married out of hate. And all you're going to ever get, even if you stay with her for 50 years, all you're going to ever catch is hell. Because you have lied to yourself that you loved her. You don't love her and she doesn't love you. Marriages, any relationship, was not created for you to work on them. You hear people say, well, you got to work on it. No, you don't. If you're working on it, it means that it was not meant to be. And men, let her have those children. You only identify with them emotionally. And that's not love. And that's his hate. And hate got you telling you, stay with her for the children's sake. She's going to destroy those children and you anyway. You're not going to be able to stop it. So what I recommend is that never look for anything first. Seek the kingdom of God first. That is the only rule that's going to work. Nothing else is going to work but that. You can go online. You can go overseas. You can go next door. You can go to church. You can always pick the wrong woman. And she's going to always pick the wrong man. But what you guys are letting these women do to you is weak, pathetic, mama boys, and you should be ashamed of yourself to let anyone treat you that way. You shouldn't put up for the moment she indicates that she want to be violent or take your children, you tell her she got to go. Okay, bye. See you later. And don't give her your house. And if she try to take your children, rather than going to court, just say, okay, save your money. Stop giving it to the lawyers. You're going to lose anyway, even when you think you're winning. And it's all emotional. That's not love. You don't love your children just because you take all that crap from the mother. You're going to end up like Alec Baldwin. You know, he is the actor, right? He's beta to the beta. According to Hindustan Time. What's that? A website? Okay. Alice Baldwin's wife lashed out at him for taking over her while they were both in the middle of an interview. Watch this from X.
The Ilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I mean I think this is a really raw show, and it's very real, and we took a lot of chances.
See there? Wrong woman. I would have dumped that bitch so fast and made her head swim. By the time she got home, divorce would be over already. Really? I would have left there, went down to the courthouse, got my divorce paper, and dumped that bitch. That's not a wife. And she hates him for his weakness. But the man put up with it, and all you get is misery. And then you make children with these women, getting more misery. Don't fight for the children. That's dumb. Whoever told you that, they lied to you and they made you weak. Stop fighting for anything. Let go and let the truth fight on your behalf. No more fighting with the devil inside your mind, and no more fighting with others about anything. Never try to prove anything to anyone. Never argue, never fight. And you will have an amazing life. Do what you want. But this is only going to get worse. That is not love. When you say, oh, I love her, you're lying. You don't love her, and she doesn't love you. There's no pain or fighting or effort in love at all. Zero. You do not cater. Love does not cater to another ego. I have mentioned over and over again over the years that when a married couple break up and they have children, they should not remarry. They should not bring another person between the children and the one parent that they do have left. Whether it's the father or the mother. If the children live with the father, then the father should not remarry. If the children live with the mother, then the mother should not remarry. Or even if they not living with one or the other parent, the other parent should not remarry. Neither one of the parents should not remarry. And the reason for that is that it's hard enough on the children not having both parents together, because children love their parents in spite of, right? Until they start hating them. But they love their parents. And so I think I'm going to make Friday Black Fridays. And that's when we respond to black callers first. All callers, but black callers. Because there's this impression that we don't love the blacks. But we do love the blacks. I think starting tomorrow, we're going to do a Black Friday. It's going to be called Black Friday. But anyway, and they should not, and the only reason, and one reason only, that when parents break up and they have children, is that they either move in with somebody else or get married because they say they feel lonely. And so it's only for their ego idea, selfish idea, to make themselves feel good, phony feeling good, but to feel good. And it's not about the children at all, but the kids get jealous because they can see that the father or the mother is only thinking of themselves, and they leave them out again, and they become jealous and mad at the parents. But the parents don't care because the parents are into their own self, their own egos, and the father or the mother that does this does not care about the children at all. It's all about self. And that's why you must be born again. You must die from the ego, because the false self, the evil nature, because the evil nature is always about itself. It's never about someone else. It does not care about anyone else but self. That's why I call it ego, and it's evil, and it's selfish. It's even separated from God. And so parents should not remarry. Why would you want to remarry anyway, or go live with somebody else, or live in or remarry? Because you already have your children. And the only purpose of a marriage is not to keep you from living alone, dying alone, but it's to have children. And if you're not going to have children, there is no reason to get married. Zero reason. Really. No reason. And then you should not be having children just because you want children. And when you have children just because you want children, you're doing it because something else is missing in your life, and you're using children to try to fulfill that, and that never works. That never works. And then the kid suffers. Because you made children, and the devil tell you, well, you'll be a better parent than your parents. You'll do better than this and better than that if you had children. And you believe the lie, you get the children and you screw them up, and the devil laughs at you. He laughs at you. All his little demons cracking up. So that you should not get married if you've been married already and you have children. Because now that you have your own children, eventually they're going to make children who will be grandchildren and great-grandkids and great-grandkids. So it's not like you need to get married and make more children. You're doing it because you're evil. And you're trying to fulfill your ego. Step-parents do not work. They don't work. Here's a clip of an upset stepfather lashing out at his family, seemingly over a dispute with his wife's son. Watch this over X.
It's okay, you can record me all you want. He's a little scumbag.
Okay.
Just like you.
Okay.
I don't care. You can tell your father's gonna go to jail too.
Okay.
Because I have video of him driving.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
Watch. You little That's what you are. A little Where's Daddy in Oklahoma? Where is he? Your father Jake wants nothing to do with your stupid You psychopath. I'm stupid? Look at yourself. Nobody wants you. Your own mother sent you to a hospital. Don't you realize that? I didn't want any kids. And I told your nutty mother that 8 years ago. Because I saw how she acted with you. That's why, you dumb.
Shorty, are you okay?
Daddy Dan's going to jail because I have video of him driving. Yeah. Remember the alcoholic who drove with you drunk in a car? You dumb.
Amazing, huh? You're not supposed to get married but one time. Unless your wife or your husband dies. He just dead. He just got die. Why do they put that on YouTube or X if it happened in the home like that?
It looked like the mother recorded it, and she let somebody see it. Either she put it out, or somebody who had access to what she sent to them put it out there.
Oh, mess.
Make the guy look bad, which he did.
Yeah, Derek said the wife was probably, we don't know for sure if the wife was doing it, but it never made sense to me that you have a home problem like that and you take it and you put out on YouTube, on X or anywhere. What purpose is that? You know what I mean? But the one thing I know is that human beings, even though we don't know what it is, is evil, and they do. It's so amazing to me, folks, what human beings do to one another that is not even funny. How human beings, think about that, treat each other in such a wicked way. And they get a thrill from it. See how this stepfather feeling about the stepchildren? And he had no business, zero business marrying a woman, a female who already had children. And now the kids are suffering even more so. They're already suffering because they're not with the father. They're not with the father, so they're already suffering. And now they got to deal with a father, a stepfather, and a mother who's fighting and not putting them first. And look how the stepfather's talking to the kids. And the stepfather said he told his stupid mama, something like that he didn't want any children. So why would he marry a woman who already had children? Why? The one thing I know for sure, and you better start, I mean, you don't have to. I suggest you start working on yourself so that you can overcome the world. Because this is hell on earth. Men and women, you can overcome the world and be in it. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. You're going to live in fear. You're going to live in misery because human beings have no love at all, and they get a thrill from trying to hurt you, and they call it life. They feel alive. They laugh. They feel funny. They feel good on the inside that they believe that they have hurt you. And most people are hurt by that. But I promise you, if you work on you, I don't care what you've done. If you work on you, you can overcome the world, and the world cannot touch you. And believe me, they'll work overtime trying to hurt you. Look what they're trying to do to the Great White Hope and Eli. Two men who are trying to make America better in a material way, not even spiritual. Not even spiritual, and they are trying to destroy those two men. All they're doing is trying to make life a little bit easier for you in a physical way. And look at in America, not just the world, but America, trying to destroy them. They're burning up this man's cars and setting his automobile companies on fire and threatening. And that's human being. That's human nature. That's evil. Human nature is evil. How will you survive if you don't overcome it? God said you can be in it, but not of it. You really can, but you're not going to survive in it if you don't overcome it. Look how ticked that man is. It's his fault he married a woman who already had children. It's not the kid's fault. It's his fault. It's not even the woman's fault that he married her. It's her fault that she married him because she was wrong for marrying another man that already had children. It appears, at least in the video. And then that little boy that was hitting her with the little sweeper thing, ain't no way that would be happening. That wouldn't happen but one time. It is amazing what state that we are in. When I say the fallen state, we have a show called the fallenstate.tv. It's an amazing show. Check it out. But when we're in the fallen state, we have fallen away from the light. We have fallen away from love. We have fallen away from God. We have drifted off into the wilderness, and we're far away from home. We're lost, and we're like animals, and we treat each other in that way. And don't even care. Because you have no love, you're empty. The Father has made it possible. He made it possible for you to return back home. He made it possible for you to return back to love, back to light, back to freedom, back to perfect peace. And you literally can have it. And the world may see something different about you, but they won't know. Some people will if they're seeking. But most people won't know, and they'll try to hurt you. And if you are of thoughts and emotions, which is a fallen state way of living, you will cry at night. You will cry, either with tears outwardly or in your mind. See how selfish that is? Step-parents do not work. And then the world try to dress it up, and they call it, what do they call that when the two families come together as one?
Blended family.
Blended family. They try to dress it up because the world is evil. Human beings are evil. Human beings are evil. The hearts of human beings are so evil, words cannot express. But you don't have to be bothered by it if you're in control of your own world. You and your world, you're living from it. But you should not be marrying. There's no reason to get married. Remarry if you already have children. Fathers or mother, men or women. Really, it doesn't work. According to 1 Corinthians 7, 10, 11, it's Bible thumper. To the marriage I give this ruling. And this is not mine, but the Lord's. A wife must not separate from her husband. Or if she's already left him, she must remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. And a husband must not divorce his wife. Amazing, huh? The problem, too, the number one problem in marriages today, not always, because married people used to stay together for 50, 60, 70, and 80 years. Married people today do not get married under God. Oh, they may have a wedding. They may say those vows and say to God, but it's not from God. They didn't even come together under God. They do not, and as a result, marriages don't work at all because 99.9% of marriages today are made in hell and not in heaven. God didn't bring y'all together. You were not seeking that first and it was added. You weren't looking for it in one way or another. Women are out there looking for men and men are looking for women and they play a game on each other and then they get each other and after a while all hell breaks loose. The man become a mama's boy and the wife become mama. What a sad, sad world we live in. But you don't have to live in a sad world. You can be free. You really can, but you got to work on you. And then there are people who believe in free will. They believe Jesus is God. They believe in speaking in tongues. Just what a mess. Remember I said that if I was God, one of the requirements for you to get into heaven is that you would have had to gone to Israel before you died. You must have visited Israel. I love Israel before you died. And so I said that, and I mean it. And but I'm not God, so that's not the requirement as of right now. But I have my producer gave me a preview of what Israel is like. If you were to go to Israel, what you would experience, and it would be amazing. I'm telling you, when I went to Israel, I'm like, because I grew up loving Israel, I was taught, and thank God, that the Jews and Christians are one. If it wasn't for Judaism, there would be no Christianity, and that we were brought in by Christ, and I'm so grateful. And so I've always wanted to go to Israel, and I got a chance to go, and we went back and took a second trip, a bunch of people. It was fun. Here is footage of 5 places where Jesus walked in Israel and Jerusalem. Watch this from TikTok.
So it says here, Jesus walked. It says Capernaum. Hopefully I pronounced these right. So this is Capernaum. Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Jesus was crucified and buried. The Sea of Galilee, where Jesus walked and calmed the storm. Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed before his crucifixion. And this is the Mount of Beatitudes, where Jesus gave the Sermon of the Mount.
Amazing. As I'm watching it now, I can feel it in my soul. Really. It's like I went to those places. It is like I feel it in my soul right now, even as I speak. Nothing but love. And that is in the Bible. It's in the Word. We're going to play it again for you tomorrow. And but what do you think about that? While you're hating, you're missing out on life. You really are. And you don't know it because you have hate. You're connected to the darkness. And we took a bond trip back there, and people requested another bond here during Friday, like, bond trip back to Israel. It was amazing. And it was one of the safest places on the planet because they are at war all the time with their enemies. And so people walk around, the military people walk around heavily armed all over the place. So you are protected. Do we have to get shots? Any vaccines required? No. At least when we went, we didn't have that. I don't know if things changed. But no hate. Oh, have mercy. I want you, before I get to the callers here, and I will in a minute, I want you to see what the black... Now, what you're about to see was the way it looked and was happening when I was growing up, right? And that's why I would tell you, not the only reason, but when I went to Indiana for the first time in 1967, not for the first time, but I went to stay there for a minute. I was stunned at the black violence and the black neighborhoods and how bad things turned. I had no idea that blacks could be that way because the blacks around me, growing up in Alabama, it was not like that at all. So I was as stunned as the white people were at the violence in the blacks. I want to show you a black neighborhood in L.A. before the civil rights movement. And I've said over and over again, the worst thing, other than abortion, that ever happened to the blacks was the civil rights movement. It was the worst. It destroyed them. Thank you, Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesse Jackson. You guys did a great job of destroying the blacks. Here's a footage of what the black neighborhood looked like in Los Angeles in this is from the 1950s. Watch this from X. Amazing, huh? Joel, when you see that, because you're not accustomed to blacks looking like that, acting like that, what do you think? He black.
Well, it's interesting because my black side of the family, they all dress pretty proper. So when I would go to the black side, they kind of had it together, pretty clean and put together. But growing up with my mom and being out in the streets and seeing, not in the streets, but
it might sound so loud.
Okay.
You black.
But being out like amongst the people growing up where I grew up, yeah, it's just you more so see like rundown ghetto. As a matter of fact, growing up, I never liked hanging out with the black kids because they would want to fight and the black girls would kind of be real angry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just you don't see that growing up.
It's hard to believe, folks, that human beings can go from that, the 1950s, to what they are today. And not all the blacks, of course, but most. It's hard to believe, huh? You didn't know that human nature can change like that. And most blacks don't know that blacks were classy people at one time. Really. Most black people don't even, they think that era from slavery, that blacks been out of control and violent and angry and doing the underground and mess like that. They don't know that the blacks were classy, they dressed well, they carried themselves well, they were family oriented, they traveled, they enjoyed their lives, and they were not angry at the whites. They did their things like all the white people were doing their things, the Jews were doing their things, the Mexicans, I don't know if we had Mexicans then. The black, everybody was doing their thing, and they got along for the most part. And so, back in the 50s and early 60s, 30s, 40s, the black people were known. Black people were known to be classy people, really. As a matter of fact, it was abnormal if you saw a black acting up. It was more expected from the whites than it were from the blacks, really. But then the civil rights movement came along, founded by the blacks, and headed up by the blacks, and they tore the black people mentality apart. And this is what you have now. As a result of that, so you saw 50s, right? As a result of the civil rights movement, such thing as civil rights movement. I used to be called, that's what they called it. It was civil wrong. But the so-called civil rights movement and they destroyed the black family. They brought in the Democratic Party for the blacks and the government and everything. Here's what you have now. This is from PPV Tahoe. So you saw the 50s, right? And those were black people, normal black people having an amazing life, dressing well. They didn't have afros and all that mess. But so that was the 50s. This is from PV Tahoe. Dallas, Texas cell phone video shows individuals allegedly looting an Amazon trailer parked on the side of the road. So that was then, this is now.
Truck, man. Y'all for wrong as a mother, man. Leave for Ram second there. Thick stealing this, all that shit ain't yours. Look at this, them folks are crazy. Look at his ass stealing. I don't know what part of Dallas I'm at. Let me get back. Let me get past. Ramsack this.
Isn't that something? Once again, I want to show you the 50s with the blacks. And then I'm going to remind you of the now with the blacks. Watch this from X from 1950. This was in L.A., folks. They look like Baysur and Dar and Uda. Uncle look like Uda's husband, Todd. That's sweet. That's Leroy. That's me and my little cousin Henry Lee. That's how it was when I was growing up, folks. I'm not making up. I was there. James, like, how can you spell Uda? UDA or OODA? My Aunt Uda. Really? People used to dress up like that to fly and everything. Black people were so classy back then, and I've told you this before. As a young person in my young teens, 13, 14, 15, I used to think that only white people sinned. Really, I didn't know it was possible for black people to be out of control like that. I just didn't know because I wasn't seeing it around me. And I would hear about these stories from my uncle and them when they would go up north to New York or to Florida, and they would talk about what the white people were doing. Not in that it wasn't that the white people were acting this way in the South. They were not acting that way. They were sensible people as well.